tell you why the day went by so quickly? Because I just blocked out all the negative stuff.
Oh yeah,
I think that could
absolutely,
be a possibility. Yeah, my dog
absolutely.
came back, by the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
same day he went out, came back. Thankfully.
You kept your inner environment positive, and so your outer environment reflected the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember these some of my friends is talking about they missing the old me, the fifth grade me, the person who thought they was all tough, following somebody who claims they're a gang leader, but nah, that wasn't me no more. So
Yeah.
then and like on there, I told them myself, I came here to help myself grow. And in which when I'm growing, the people around me is gonna grow or get distant. So then I told them I'm gonna help myself grow and I'm gonna help them grow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yep. Do you want to start or can I say one more thing?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Well, I was just gonna say on top of that,
Mhm.
I just wrote a verse the last 2 days about that. How, like I'm not the same person that y'all used to know. Like I'm living a
Mhm.
whole different lifetime now.
I like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Just like that other song you made, The Truth.
Yeah.
Man, bro. Oh my gosh. I forgot to tell you that. I had the lyrics stuck in my head for a few days. Like I've been doing the technique to get it out, but just
Yeah.
like, dang, that was hard to get out for some reason. The other ones is easy.
Yeah.
I'll just say to myself once, just stop saying it inside of your head. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I don't know, something's different about that. When I just don't know. That
Yeah.
song, man. Shoot.
Yeah. It's another one dropping in a couple days. The intro.
Shoot.
The
Mhm.
intro.
Say
Yeah.
less, say
The
less. I just
mastermind.
can't wait. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think my history teacher, Mr. Bay, I don't know if he's spiritual. He might be,
Yeah.
because he like me. He's kind of like me. He when he speaks about people, he knows about the educational system and how it's kind of rigged and how
Mhm.
things are rigged, and he
Yeah.
knows how that stuff is. So when he
Can I
speaks about
interject
people,
in a second?
huh?
Oh, I just want to interject real quick and
Oh,
just
yeah.
introduce myself. Just to say, I'm happy to be here. I just
Mhm.
am looking to learn, and I appreciate you putting this together. I've learned a lot, over the course of the
Yeah.
month and a half that I've found you on TikTok.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Is
awesome,
this
man.
King J? No,
Mhm.
no LeBron.
Yeah, my name is James.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
that's what I
I,
figured. That's what I figured.
mhm,
The
yeah,
J
it's
that
nice.
started out, and you got a royal looking pose over there in the picture.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I I um I actually graduated from East Carolina University in North Carolina,
Okay.
um, and
ECU.
yeah, East Carolina ECU, and I also um, more recently I graduated from law school. In 2019, I graduated from Elon in Greensboro.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Just here to
Beautiful.
learn. Just here to soak it
Congratulations,
all
man.
up, and I
Congratulations.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You already
I
passed the
appreciate it.
bar. You still studying up for it?
Honestly, so during the pandemic, I sort of had an epiphany, and more so, I found that my true self is more so entrepreneurial, I'm more creative. So I don't really want to, trade my time for money for other people's businesses and other people's, brands. So
Yeah.
I'm looking to, like I said, build my own stuff up, and sort of be a disruptor. Say that we
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
disrupt. I love this dream work.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, well, you mean you never know, man. You could still probably get it and then be your own lawyer. I mean, because as an entrepreneur, you're gonna need one.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm actually taking the bar, and well, I was taking it one time, and I failed it by like 10 points.
Yeah.
But I work full time, but it's a
I get it.
standardized test, so it is what it is. One of those gatekeeping things. But
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
taking it again
Exactly.
in February, and like I said, I'm gonna be sort of be my own boss. That's to sort of be a part of what I am as a
Exactly.
lawyer. It's not just an
Exactly.
attorney.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Have you already checked out the memory exercise? That's
For so I've been working through both courses.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've done most of the I'm on the actual movie that
Ad
Zoom.
Astra. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. And then for the other one, I'm on week 2 for like concentration exercises, like, looking at the clock or, looking at the cloud. So that's sort of where I'm at now.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. On the link, I'll drop a link to it in the Discord. Actually, I'll do it right now. But it's a link to like all of the, like where you first signed up for all of the courses and everything. I guess it's kind of near the bottom, but you can download the PDF. I made it into a PDF. I need to make it into a video eventually, but it's ultimately going to be made into an app. But it's just a memory exercise. It'll definitely help improve your memory and tremendously. Like I used to smoke so heavily, so more than anybody I know or have ever met. And I mean, my memory is light years beyond just from this exercise.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I love, anywhere where I can get value, and I'm definitely looking to be around people who are adding value. So
yeah.
I definitely, it's like I said, you got a lot of content out there, so I'm trying to catch up on everything. But
yeah.
So far, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing. I can tell you're passionate and also knowledgeable about what you're talking about.
So with I mean, we'll get into that dream that you had, which was beautiful. But what are you noticing any changes with the discipline you're cultivating, the recent discipline you're cultivating?
Yes. So for me, I guess add a little bit of context. I guess for me, I'm all about trying to get into a better routine. So as I take my attention, especially when it comes to like sort of dream training and writing in a dream journal and interpreting and sort of just again putting sort of energy into it, I am also trying to in my life just get a better structure for my routine. I work remotely. I don't ever really necessarily want to work in the office, and so I sort of set my own schedule throughout the day. And right now, I'm really at the cusp of, okay, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I want to do, but I have to improve my time management.
Okay, great. Speaking of time management, I have to get better at prioritizing uploading these recordings for y'all, and also editing things out, because I still only have that week 5 on the Dream Masterclass course on precognitive dreams and incubated dreams, visitation dreams, and lucid dreams. It's only like halfway edited out, so I got to make sure I get those things done. But I was bringing that up to say, I think week 2, the last visualization course that we went over, there was an exercise in there. Week 1, there was exercise that'll set that up in week 2, but the 10 most wanted desires list, that would be really, really beneficial for you or anyone who's trying to do better at time management, because it's like pretty much essentially it's a list of the top 10 desires that you have, like your most wanted desires. And it can be anything, a goal, a physical thing, an object, aspect that you want to a quality you want to cultivate within yourself, anything at all. And so you order it through the number 1 most wanted thing that you want in life right now to number 10. And so in the list will change as, maybe 3 days in, you're reading it every day and you realize, oh, this, number 6 needs to not even be on there. I don't really want that bad. It just sounded good at the time. Or, there's this other thing that wants to go on that needs to be on there. What should I take off for it? And so, but ultimately, primarily one of the great things that it does is it tells the subconscious mind exactly what you want manifested. Because the whole duty of the subconscious mind is to manifest the desires of the conscious mind. You're pretty much giving it a to-do list. Like these things, no matter what thoughts are going on in my head, these are what I want most, right? And so the secondary benefit of it is as you're reading it every morning and every night, like at the end of the day, when you read that list, you can look and reflect on the day. Like, you know what, man, I didn't do a single thing today that was towards any of these things. So either 1, I don't really want these things as much as I thought I did, or 2, I'm not using and utilizing my energy very wisely. And when you start to get multiple days in a row, then you really realize, oh, wow, that's why I'm not manifesting the things that I really want in life. because I'm mismanaging my energy. You know, and then when you read it to start the day, you know, it'll help you to kind of shift the different plans that you already have set in motion. Like, you know what, I really do need to make sure I make time to make this phone call right here so I can make this happen. You know, do the first step needed to make this thing happen. 3. You know, and
And to Rock, not to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
You said this is under week 2 of the dream modules, or the
no, this can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the keys to success course, which is the one with concentration.
Mm-hmm.
We're going over visualization right now for all of you mentees, and then the videos are going to get edited up and placed in at the very end of the keys to success course. So you'll have 4 weeks of practicing concentration and building up your willpower, and then you'll have 4 weeks of visualization. You're not really practicing the visualization just yet, but in a way, in other ways, you're starting to incorporate it as you are replacing your concentration exercise with a visualization exercise.
Okay, yeah, I'm following.
Yeah. Right. But to get to your dream, pretty much very simple. So you were driving in a car and you actually did drive off the road. Someone else was driving, right?
Yes. So someone, I can't quite remember like who exactly it was, but I was just riding in the car, passenger seat, and I just remember pulling off to the side of the road or something along the lines of crashing or like an emergency happening or something. And sort of it was abrupt.
Yeah. And then the police came and you went to the police station.
Right. I ended up at the police station, and what stood out to me was, like I said, in the message, essentially all the cops were Black women. And it really threw me off because, I mean, again, depending on how I'm dressed, it's really depending on how the cops treat me. You know, if I'm dressed, in the suit and the lawyer really is like, yeah, but it's just like, I don't really have, just like most, black people don't really have the most positive view of the police, but I just never would have thought it was just so wild to me. That was just like all these cops and they were all Black women. It was just like the exact opposite of how I view a cop. So I thought it was very interesting. Yeah.
So as you already know, everything in the dream is about you. Every person, place, or thing in the dream is an aspect of your own consciousness. So when you're in the dream looking around, this is what's going on within your mind the last day or two before you had the dream. And when did you have this dream? Last night?
Yes, it was last night.
Okay, yeah. So so a car represents your body, and car crashes are always something you really want to pay attention to, because that's going to indicate some impending like detrimental health issue. And not necessarily very serious. This doesn't even sound like it was a serious crash. Aren't even sure if it really was a crash or you just kind of pulled off to the side of the road. But it's just something to be aware of in the fact that, okay, this is what's going on within my mind. If I don't address it, then maybe I might, catch the flu or, get sick in some kind of way. But this doesn't sound like anything serious. But yeah, you want to be aware of that. But at the same time, it seems like you already kind of addressed it because you brought in the police, and you also, went to the police station, which was huge. And all the police were women, right? So first off, I believe that part of the reason that you ended up in the crash or off to the side of the road or, pretty much off course, essentially, because the road represents your path in life, right? So you are off course at the very least in where you really wanting to go in life. And the thing is you weren't driving, someone else was driving, so you aren't taking conscious control over where you're going in life and the amount of effort you're putting towards getting there. You're kind of taking a back seat to allowing the subconscious, your unconscious mind to kind of, make things happen. And so that's another place where that 10 most wanted desires list will come into play, because it'll be more activating your conscious mind to get involved in the creation process. You know, because with manifestation, you have the conscious and subconscious minds, which are two halves to a whole. The conscious mind is masculine, the subconscious mind is feminine, right? And so just like to make, to create as humans, for us to create, the male has to implant the seed within the womb of the woman. And so the same thing happens for manifestation. You know, the conscious thought, the seed thought within the conscious mind has to implant and fertilize the womb of your subconscious mind, right? And so with that process, this exercise kind of activates more your conscious mind to get involved. And okay, these are the seeds that I want to plant within the subconscious mind and give attention and energy to in order to manifest and produce something, right? This is what I want manifested. So that's more taking a driver's seat, you know, taking control of the wheel and directing what you're manifesting for yourself and your life, the experiences you want to have. And so the other beautiful thing about this dream is the fact that, you know, what amazes you the most, that it's all the police are all Black women, right? So the fact that they're Black and you're also Black just helps you to identify that this is something that is familiar to you, you know? And so the fact that they're women, though, is that these are subconscious aspects. Now, as we all go through life, you know, none of us are, I mean, Marquez is still in school, but even him, you know, we all can identify different things that we've really learned in life, like true life lessons that we've learned. And when we really break that down, we can identify the different things that we understand about ourselves and understand about life in general, that we have these understandings because of what the lessons that we learned and the things that we went through. Now, those understandings you feed into your soul when you turn them into permanent understandings. You feed them into your soul, and then your soul holds that wisdom. You know, your soul is the vehicle that your consciousness uses, which utilizes the subconscious mind. So the women in your dreams. And so, woman of your dreams, your subconscious mind has that storehouse of wisdom that you've cultivated through many lifetimes. So what this dream is really showing to me is that a strong level of discipline you already have within you, no matter what kind of understanding of what it means to be disciplined. Because I mean, you clearly are disciplined in some type of way to be able to, you know, graduate from law school. I mean, that takes a strong level of discipline and willpower to cultivate and culminate. But it also is something that you understand naturally, you know, as a soul, as a being. You came into this life understanding what it meant to be disciplined, and then probably other experiences and environments within your life growing up maybe encourage that. But
Yeah, it's funny you said it because my dad was actually infantry in the Army for 22 years of my life. So discipline was definitely a big part of that. But yeah, I definitely appreciate, you know, this has definitely been insightful. I'm over here taking notes. And it's just funny because as I do this training, as I learn this sort of you know, universal language of the mind, it's so insightful to, again, becoming more self-aware, and you know, that's where I've been since the pandemic. Is like I'm trying to become more self-aware, because going through, like I said, in my whole life, I wanted to be a lawyer. You know, I since I was like 4 or 5, that's sort of been my identity. My sense of self was becoming a lawyer, being a lawyer. But then I never really had a chance to actually stop and think about, okay, why? You know, it became like my mission. So post law school, I've had a lot of time to really dive into, you know, harder questions, and because of that, now I'm here. So I'm definitely looking forward to continue to learn, continue to grow, and you know, I'm excited about what's coming next.
Yeah, nice. And that's what everything that I share and encourage, it's all geared towards that self-awareness for the purpose of self-mastery, because self-awareness isn't necessarily enough, you know, but in order to become a master of yourself, you do have to become more aware, you know. So self-awareness is very key, but it's more becoming a master of yourself, a master over your body, a master over your mind, a master over your ego, your thoughts, your emotions, you know, and gaining a level of mastery over all of that, which it just takes, you know, time, effort, and discipline. That's it. But essentially, what I would suggest with this dream, because, you know, like I say all the time, you know, having a dream is fun. You know, and getting an interpretation can be very fascinating, but unless you apply it into your life, it really has no use. It's all, you know, pointless. So what I would suggest is like trying to identify what happened the last day or two that kind of got you off course, but more importantly, what did you do to get back on course? Because not only did the police show up, you know, that disciplined part of yourself showed up, but it also took you to the police station. You entered into a mind frame, a state of mind of being disciplined. You know, and that's what I think is very key to this dream, so that you can identify that in order to continue to replicate it in the future. Yeah. So, and also with what you shared about your father, it might not even be so much that you came into this lifetime with those understandings, but it may be that due to the environment that you grew up in, and then carrying that forward with you into adulthood, you have not only cultivated a conscious mind, a very strong conscious mind that understands discipline, but you have fed that into your soul, and now as a soul truly understand discipline, and you'll have that for the rest of this lifetime and future lifetimes. Or most likely you had a level of that already, and this lifetime just built upon it. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna keep questioning it and you know, figure out how to apply it essentially. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Nice. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you said you've been doing the candle exercise or the concentration exercise for 2 weeks. What's your experience been like with that? What kind of new awareness of what attention is and concentration is that's brought out, if any?
It's just about you know, I believe energy is everything. And you know, while I can concentrate, like I said, you know, when it comes to like studying, that kind of stuff, because it sort of came second nature, what I'm learning is it's tough to really concentrate, you know, on something that, you know, whether it be a cloud, whether it be the clock, for long periods of time. It's kind of like tougher than I would have once imagined, you know, and actually doing it, I'm like, it's actually a little bit tougher than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it makes sense. It makes sense. But it's just like, you know, like I say, it's a mental muscle, and after practice, it'll get easier. It'll definitely get easier and easier. You'll start to notice it in your regular life, especially after like, you know, 4, 5, 6 weeks doing it, especially if you're doing it every day. It's awesome. 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 All right. Is anyone else who's next on kind of what your experiences you've been going through, kind of what the different exercises you've been doing, what that's kind of produced for you? I see we got a new face here, Santana. Okay. Slim.
Hey, what's going on with you?
Man, life is going on, man. Everywhere, all the time.
You know it. So I had a crazy dream Tuesday, waking up in the Wednesday. So basically, like the police was after me, but they couldn't get me. Like every time they tried to get me, I snuck out of that shit and they didn't get me. And I ended up getting away. So just break that down for me, please. Like they had me in the back of the cop car. I snuck out of that some way, got away. They caught back up with me. It was a crazy dream. So
do you know what you did to have them after you?
I do not. Okay. I do not recall.
Yeah.
I do not know what I did, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might not have been anything. It's just the fact of what's there. That's why the dream was started out that way.
Right.
So do you happen to know or remember what police represent? The universal language of the mind?
Damn, I forgot.
If not, it's no worries. It's funny because it's a theme so far. So I didn't think you came in when James was talking about that part of his dream. But police, police represent self-discipline. well, they represent discipline. Police, army, they represent discipline. But
Right.
everything is about, you know, yourself. So everything is an aspect of your own consciousness. So it's about self-discipline.
Right.
So it's, you know, ways in which you're kind of like knowing you need to be disciplined and then actually becoming a little disciplined, but then like falling away and running away from it, you know? And so, yeah, so that just makes me curious what your experience has been like this last week with the mantras, the affirmations.
Well, you know, you remember I emailed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the situation I'm going through. So, you know, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a situation that I'm unfamiliar with. Let me put it like that. I've been in that situation before, but every time, and I don't know if this is related to the dream, but every single time I get out in the nick of time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's about to happen, and then it was about to happen before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
It was about to happen another time, and then something else happened, and you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the dream's directly related to that in a sense, you know what I mean? But as far as my affirmations and my mantras, I haven't been timing it, and I haven't really been doing my walk. I mean, I've been saying it, but I don't think I've been saying it as often or as frequent as I usually do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's more what it's talking about, you know, is that you're you know, the discipline captured you and put you in the squad car for a minute. You know,
right.
you did the affirmations for a little bit, but then you escaped and ran away from it, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, things are coming up that need your attention and things. But universal law of infinity, you know, there's a way somehow to handle what's going on and address the issues coming up while still, you know, remaining disciplined.
Right.
And especially with, you know, the correlations between the two, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be very key. I just want to double check. Did you get my response to that email?
I did.
Okay.
I apologize
Okay.
for not responding.
No, you're good. You're good. You know,
I did.
yeah, you're good. I just wanted to double check because I just didn't want you to not see it and think I've, you know, what email? I didn't get an email.
No, I definitely got it. I definitely appreciate it too. It was a very thorough response.
Of course. And so yeah, that's I believe that would be primarily what the police would represent is your relationship of you know, your own self-discipline with what you were building, and then it kind of slipped away, you know.
Right.
So because you had already started building it, you know, it's there in the back of your mind, like, you know, chasing after you, like, oh man, I should be doing this. Why am I not doing this? I ain't got no time for this. I'll start it back up, you know, once I, you know, have a little more time to get to it. Yeah. But that's where it's gonna come in key with what I said the last time about kind of you were to a point where you can let go of timing it and just setting out allotments of time.
Right.
Just do it throughout the whole day. And I would suggest doing that moving forward.
Right.
You know, however many times you end up saying it, don't count it anymore. You know, like you got to a point where you were up to, like, you know, over 4,000, nearly 5,000 times a day you were saying this.
Right.
So, you know, you don't need to count anymore. You know, you just need to just do it as much as you possibly can.
Right.
And I'm telling you, after a while, like it'll just be on its own, going on its own. Like I was telling Marquez, because he mentioned the song that I released last month, the one that I'm releasing this week. It's called it's the introduction to the album, but it's like introducing the audience to my state of mind, like my mind. And so the whole song's like that, but throughout all of the lyrics, throughout the whole song, and the chorus itself is a mantra. You know what I mean? One of the first mantras that I did, which was
you sing?
No, I don't sing, I just rap.
Oh,
but,
you rap? Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't even know you got an album coming out, brother.
Absolutely,
yeah. Man. Congratulations.
So, thank you. And so the mantra Om Ma Tri Mu Yi Sa Le Du. Like after we recorded everything, I just went in the booth and just set it for like 4 minutes straight, you know, to the beat.
Yeah.
So the whole time that the whole song's going on, like you hear the verse, but in the background, you can subtly hear that mantra is just going on and on. And I wanted to put that in there to also really encapsulate the different aspects of experiencing what my mind is like at times. When I'm doing those mantras, like if I started one 10, 14 days ago, right now I'd be sitting here doing this live with y'all, and in the back of my mind, it's still going, Om Tri Mu Yi Sa. You know what I mean? Now that one is a specific, those are Sanskrit words, and the vibration of those words are for prosperity and abundance and emotional maturity, emotional stability. And so and then when the chorus, you know, when the verse cuts off, there's just the chorus, but that's all you hear is the Om Tri Mu, and then it starts back up. And so it's really cool because it like gives space. It's like that's also showing like how, you know, you can create space within your mind. But anyways, I just wanted to share that aspect of it, that it's like playing in the background. And I wanted to do that to kind of simulate for people what it's like whenever you do that mantra, or any kind of mantra. You know, it can be, you know, I'm abundant, I'm worthy, I deserve more than I have more than I need. I'm abundant, I'm worthy, I have more than I need. I'm abundant, I'm worthy, I have more than I need. And so, you know, that can be going on in the back of your mind while you're, you know, doing anything at work, you know, typing up some emails. It's just going on the back of my mind. Now, maybe then you might need to make sure you don't just start saying, hey, Susan, did you get my reports? Because I'm abundant, I'm worthy, I have more than, you know what I mean? But that's what I would suggest for you is really start to just anytime you start thinking about it, like don't fight with it or anything. Don't be like, oh man, I gotta make some time for it. No, that's the time. Even if it's only saying it 10 times real quick and then moving on, you know. But just build it up as much as you can as you're going on throughout. You don't have to say it out loud. I mean, it can be in your head. I mean, that's what most of it is anyways. For me, the only time I was saying it out loud was whenever I was driving or, you know, getting ready for the day, you know, or winding down my day. But the majority of the time, like probably 80-90% of the time, it's just in my head, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. When that album come out?
Well, so I don't have an audience as far as with the music. So I'm releasing one track a month for the next, I guess, 8 or 9 months now. So I released a track last month. You probably like that. The Truth. Benny Franks. Yeah, I put it in the thing.
Okay, yeah.
But
please,
I just dropped.
definitely like to listen to it.
Yeah, I just dropped the other one. I uploaded it last night, so it should be sometime this week. It should.
Yeah. So you incorporate like, and I'm gonna let other people go. I just got one more question.
Yeah.
So you incorporate like, you know, the mantras and the stuff that you live in your rap. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
So like not comparing it, but like a Londrell type of situation.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Londrell, yeah, he's a spiritual hip hop, I guess, artist type of person.
Okay.
Yeah, he has albums and he's pretty big though, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, he
I'm
got
to check him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop his name in the Discord. I'm gonna check him out. But I just dropped the track on the Discord, so you can check it out there. But yeah, man, that's the whole, like, in one of them that isn't released yet. I even say that, like, I'm training 8 different ways just to bring you this knowledge, you know, because I got, you know, these courses, you know, books. I give talks, like now the music, doing TV shows and movies, you know. So it's like, you know, that's my purpose, man. Any way I can, I'm gonna use any modality that I've been gifted with to do it, you know. And yeah, it's plenty of like there's like really my music I really just make for myself, and just other people are gonna hear it, because a lot of stuff in there, like nobody's even gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. Like in the one that I released, you know, it's like my son is my center, the doorway is Boris. If we not a course, then who's running for us? So like saying my son is my center, the sun represents superconscious awareness, right? So that's the awareness of your spirit. That, you know, that's my center. You know, and the doorway is Boris, means here, let me everybody can see my screen, right?
I can't.
I can.
Who said they can't?
Marquez, I can't see it.
Can't see it?
Oh, wait, I'm tripping. I
Okay.
gotta just go to the left. Yeah,
Oh,
never
okay,
mind.
okay. Cool. Okay. So the sun is up here, super conscious awareness, right? But these are 7 different divisions within the mind, 7 different levels. This is the physical level, because this is a realm, you know what I mean, that we're living in. The 3rd dimension, it's a realm. And so there's other realms, you know, the emotional, lower astral, upper astral, 7 of them. Well, there's doorways. Each one of these lines, whether dashed or solid, are doorway. There's doorways to access that next realm, right? And the first one, the very first one, the vibration of it is Borus. Borus. Like, who here has seen Men in Black 3? Anybody? It's one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Okay. Yeah, for this purpose, this is why it's one of my top 5 favorite movies. There's so many gems in that movie. When you understand the universal language of mind, you're gonna see it. But what's the bad guy's name? Boris the animal. As soon as, like, 3 minutes into the movie, as soon as I heard that, I'm sitting there watching, I sat up in my chair like, hold on, Boris the animal. Wait a second, this ain't no regular Men in Black movie. You know what I mean? Then they had the 5th dimensional being and all that. I'm like, oh, they dropping a lot here. Yeah. But anyways, Boris the animal is because with the conscious mind here, let me move this out of my way. With the conscious mind here, along with the conscious mind being developed every lifetime, is the ego as well. You know, the animal mind, the animalistic mind. And so that's what needs to be defeated in order to, you know, traverse deeper. Just like in Ad Astra, you know, there are certain parts of yourself you need to destroy and overcome, the monkey mind, in order to go deeper into, you know, the mind and yourself and these inner levels. So that's, you know, like something like that. Now that I explained it to y'all will understand what that verse means. But man, unless you really understand a lot of this stuff, like this ancient knowledge that, you know, like Masons, like, got to be super high degrees to know a lot of this stuff. And so unless you know that, you aren't going to understand what that line means. People just gonna be like, man, he just made up a word. Like, what? But, and so there's a lot of stuff like that that is in there. So yeah, I do put a lot of knowledge in there, but really a lot of my music is it's just, I just make what I like to hear. If anybody else is into it too, cool. But it has a lot of knowledge in it, so kind of teach it as a whole mind frame of the vision. But yeah, I'm not here to talk too much about the music, just the knowledge. Yeah, great. Who else would like to go next? Santana, all right, yeah, come to introduce yourself, sister. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I just wanted, this is my first time being in your Zoom. I signed up for the mentorship, I think a week ago or so.
Yeah.
I have not did any of the assignments, so excuse me. I just want to
okay.
give a background just to what I do and who I am. Right now, I have been a trauma domestic violence counselor for about 5 years. I've been working 24/7 regarding to the hotline crisis. So when I came across, I'm extremely highly spiritual and very in tune to the point like a lot of people don't really understand me. So I'm literally just trying to find my tribe. I'm very good with dreaming. It's to the point I can go to sleep for 5 minutes, wake up, and I can recall everything. I think my job has really strengthened my memory to the point
Nice.
because I've been trained to go to sleep, wake up, and it's if like I wasn't asleep because I'm 24/7. So I recall everything and I just have certain things that I do where I know. It's like I don't write my dreams in a journal because I will give you every detail from 6 to 7 pages. It's just too much for me. So certain things where I want to just pinpoint like certain things that I have in my dreams, I remind myself that I'm dreaming, but I can only stay lucid for a moment. Like I do the trick where I'm looking down at my hands in this reality so that I can program myself to when I'm in the astral to pretty much say, okay, if the hands look weird, I know that I'm in, you know, the sleep dream. Certain things where
How
I've been,
successful has that been for you?
well, because I noticed that when I'm under a lot of stress, I can't recall my dream. I can't obtain lucidity. But if I'm like really calm, I've been doing a lot of work with my nervous system. I noticed that I'm successful. Like last night, um, I programmed myself in waking reality. So it was interesting that you were talking about James and y'all was talking about the vehicle means the body, because I programmed myself in this reality to say if I see certain cars that I know certain chakras are blocked. And like I just programmed like this last night I had got a vision that a white car was offline for me, and it had like a busted tail light. So I'm like, damn, I literally all my upper chakras are pretty much blocked. So that white car represented like spirit for me because I programmed it to represent my upper chakras. Um Last night, I had a meeting with with an old friendship. We fell out. It was really bad in this waking dream, but
Mhm.
I made amends. I was lucid for a moment where I was able to tell her, like in spirit, like on a higher level, what happened to our friendship and why I chose to move on. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I'm learning how to,
Spoke to her spirit.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I just can't control it. Like, and that's why I'm really excited to be a part of, you know, your mentorship program and learning how to strengthen myself in concentration, because I've been studying Jose Silva when it comes to the mind control. So I've really been studying how to get to the alpha brain state where I can, you know, become a more of a problem solver and just communicate on a more, you know, it's so many benefits studying Jose Silva and in his method. And I for the life of me, I could not keep my concentration going. Like
Hmm.
I was doing his mental where I project myself. I would lay down and I would do his exercises where he tells you you mentally project yourself somewhere where you're familiar with, like a room or something, and I can hold that so well. And then all of a sudden, like it just my concentration and my focus is just it just goes somewhere else. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because in the astral, you know, well, in all of life, you are where your attention is, but it's much more evident when you're either astral projection or lucid dreaming, because as soon as your attention goes somewhere, boom, you go there. So, you know, as soon as you're out, you know, you're probably out and then be like, oh, I wonder what's going on with my body. Boom, you thought about body. Boom, you're back in your body. You know, um, it's really funny because when you first started describing, just introducing yourself and things, and you were describing being such an avid dreamer and everything, I was thinking, oh, okay, I need to encourage her that out of all of the things, it might be best for her to focus primarily initially on the dream interpretation masterclass because of how powerful that can be for you, you know, to really just understand every single night what your inner self is trying to tell you, you know, on the very most impertinent things for your current present growth. But then when you started talking about other things and lucid dreaming and things, I was like, well, shit, the concentration is going to be just as vital for her. So because I mean truly, like, becoming lucid and is one thing, but holding that lucidity is a whole nother ball game, you know, especially holding it for a significant amount of time, you know. And astral projection, you know, that's like astral projection, lucid dreaming is the same thing. The only difference is your perspective of it. You're with astral projection, you're aware of leaving the body and coming back, whereas lucid dreaming, you just become aware while you're already gone, you know. And so to be able to do that takes even more concentration to escape the body like that. And so And there's plenty of, you know, different other techniques and things. If that's something anybody here is interested in, I would primarily get the book Astrodynamics. That will contain a ton of knowledge. You know, some of which is some of the stuff I share on astral projection and things. And a lot of the book was like reaffirming a lot of things, but I also learned a ton of new stuff from that book. So it's a great book, and it's, you know, I practiced astral projection for maybe 4 or 5 years before I found that book, and I never really was at a point where I could have consistent results. Like lucid dreaming, all the time, all day long. You know what I mean? But astral projection, like just sitting down and be like, all right, y'all, I'll be right back. But I never leave, but I actually do leave. You know what I mean? Like being able to just sit down and just make it happen on command, it was hit or miss. You know, but when I got that book, man, like he even says in there, anybody reading it, you can have never tried astral projection before. In 2 weeks' time, you will have a successful projection. And for me, it was like 2 days. Like the second time I tried one of the techniques, boom, 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 gone. And so,
what's the author's name?
Oh yeah, here, Robert Bruce, Astrodynamics by Robert Bruce. I'm gonna find it and put it in the Discord chat. And that Discord gonna have a lot of stuff waiting. Hey.
So what do you
But
think about going to sleep with frequencies? Because I've been also setting my I'll go to sleep with a certain frequency on, such as like 432, 963, and I'll access the higher realms just by, you know, but I was lucid for a minute in the higher realm and it just went dead. Like,
yeah. Me personally, I mean, you know, so first, I'll touch on one of the very first things you said. You know, you haven't done any of the assignments. One, none of these are assignments. You know, I call myself a mentor for a very specific reason. You know, I'm not a teacher. I'm not going to fail you or hold you back. You know, I'm not a coach. I'm not going to pull you out the game or kick you off the team. I'm just a mentor, you know, so everyone here is free to take them as serious or as light as they want. You know, if you want to be in here just for the community and shoot the shit and not do any disciplines, sure. I don't care. I mean, as long as it's not distracting from the other people, you know. But so yeah, I mean, if that's something that you like and enjoy and it has an effect for you, then absolutely, by all means, do whatever you feel. Me personally, I never got into. I've tried it a couple times just to see and have an experience. I maybe I didn't do it long enough to really see any type of effect, but also I also like went into it like with the adverse thought about it, not necessarily like adverse as far as like, oh, you know, fuck this shit, but it just an understanding of for me it's more of a distraction than anything else, because by going within, I'm going to need to shut down the senses of my physical body and then go within and activate the senses of my astral body. And so for me, that's going to be like a distraction. So that's why, like, very early on with meditating, I stopped using incense or any kind of music or guided meditations, because it may help in the beginning, but it doesn't really put you in the best position to then take the next step of not needing these things and closing off your senses of the physical body. But I also wanted to preface that with what I said, because I want to make sure that, you know, everyone understands. I'm not saying that, you know, these things don't hold value. But just like by the time, like what they call bionic beats or neural beats or something like that, binaural beats, by the time that was even like a thing that like really anybody really knew about, like I was already to a point where I could just, you know, sit down and within 3 minutes have all of my attention pulled from all of my senses and going within. So it wasn't really a benefit for me, but that doesn't mean it's not a benefit for anybody or other people. You know, so definitely don't think that what I'm saying is encouraging anyone to not do these things. But just like with everything, you know, become a master of yourself, you know, become a metaphysician, be a scientist. So with something like that, you know, write down before you go to sleep, kind of the frame of mind you're in. And then when you wake up, the frame of mind you're in on the nights when you do use them and on the nights when you don't, and write down the frequency that you use. That way, you know what frequencies are having what effect, you know, and then the nights where you don't use it, also document that. That way you create your own documentation, you know, to find out these answers for yourself, because that's truly what this mentorship is for, is to build you all up to a point where you become your own mentor, you become your own teacher, you become your own guru. You know what I mean? You know how to teach yourself. Like I said, everybody got that email. That one of the first things it said in that email, if you're still a mentee a year from now, man, we failed. we failed. One of the two of us, and I'll take all the blame. You know what I mean? I was a quarterback in football. I'll take 100% of the blame every time. You know, so you know, that's one thing that you can do. And one of the ways that you can do that is with something like that, because one, that's something I don't have a whole lot of experience with, and don't really have a desire to have a whole lot of experience with it, but is something that can be very beneficial to others. Yeah. All right. So, do you have anything else to share?
Oh, mm,
Okay. All right. Yeah. So who would, I think Marquez has his hand up. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. All right, so yeah, no, not anytime. When I lay down to go to sleep, sometimes I just say to myself, I'm going to be aware. And when I do this, it just something just snaps. I just become aware of any
Hold on, you're
visual
fading out. We can't
or
hear you too well.
thing. Oh, hold on. Yeah, like I said, anytime I go to sleep, I
Yeah, that's
just
much
say
better.
I'm going to be aware. And
Hmm.
then when that happens, I just feel any like energy or frequency or vibration in my body that's going on. I can tell the difference between just like, um, I don't know, random feelings inside of my body and the actual feeling of energy. I can tell the difference between those now, thankfully. And so, yeah, anytime I just say I become aware, it's like anytime I say that, I start to really feel the energies when I lay down to astral project, because that's what my goal sometimes is to
Hmm.
astral project. So yeah, when I say I become aware, I start to feel it, but then after that, most of the techniques that I use don't even work. Oh yeah, that's one more something. That's the question I always wanted to ask you. Those techniques to astral project, when should I use those? When should I use those? Like during when I lay down, should I use those when my body starts to feel numb, when I can't move, or like 2 minutes after I lay down? When do you think would be the best time?
Well, it depends on the technique. Like the bounce technique, which is where you like place your attention on your hip, your right hip, and then you move your attention down your leg to your knee and continue to move it down through your calf to your ankle to your foot, and then back up to your hip, and then continue bouncing your attention from your foot to your hip faster and faster and faster until it goes as fast as it can, because there will be a limit on how fast you can move it. And then just keep doing that until you feel something different. Like your right leg's gonna feel different than your left leg. Whether, like, for me, it's like a pulsing, like, you know, for other people it's like a heat, for other people it's like a vibration, you know, like it's shaking or something. You know, for some people it feels cold. And so once you have that change in sensation of some sort, then you know that the energy body of the right leg is activated. So boom, then you go to the left leg, do it from the hip through the leg to the knee, through the bottom, through the calf to the ankle and the foot, and all the way back up to the hip, and then back down, back up, back down, back up, back up, down, back up, and then and do that faster and faster, and then do the left leg, right? Then you do the right arm, then you do the left arm, then you do the torso and up to the head, from the waist all the way up the torso to the neck to the head to the top of the head, and then back down, boom, 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 and then you do the whole body. So that's going to activate your energy body. You do that the moment you lay down and close your eyes, boom, start doing that. You know, so it really depends on the technique. You know, as far as like the techniques for like the different rope techniques and things to actually pull yourself out of your body. Those you want to do once you feel that you are ready to do those. You know, once you feel that you are ready to actually leave your body, that is when you do those. And I can't really give you an answer on when that is, because it's going to be different at every single time, because you're going to approach it differently every time. But it is something you have to feel out for yourself.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Like,
Yeah.
like that one time when I messaged in the chat, ooh, I'm so close. I was just laying down, just letting my thoughts flow.
Yeah.
And then after
Yeah.
like 10, 11 minutes, out of the blue, I just said, I'm ready. I'm ready. And then after that, it almost worked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
But
at
yeah,
that point, the technique that's most successful for me is I just start rocking back and forth until eventually I roll right out of my body. Right. That's what works for me. But maybe for you it may be like, are you normally doing this sitting down or laying down?
laying down.
Laying down. Okay. So maybe you might like picture a rope hanging from the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and then reach your hands up and grab the rope with your hands, like a big thick rope, like those gym ropes that you climb in the movies. Like I don't know, because we ain't never have none of those at the gyms I went to school with.
Yeah, I remember I had some too.
But yeah, okay, yeah, it was just the movies for us. But like one of those kind of ropes, you know, and feel it. First, grab your hands on it and really feel it. Feel the fibers of the rope in your hand, you know, and then slowly grab the next one and pull yourself out, you know, and just keep on pulling, keep on climbing until you notice and realize, oh shit, I'm like 4 foot above my body, and then turn around and look at it, and then jump back in. So
Yeah,
that's probably one thing that's very key for you right now, because you're probably having a lot more success than you think. But you get out and you're like, oh shit, I'm out, shoo, and you take off, and then you forget and lose awareness, and then you forget the whole thing, and you wake up like, oh man, I didn't even get out at all.
I got a few things to say. The first thing is, man, I just had no idea why I did this as a kid. But when I laid down, the one thing that'd make me feel like actually ready to go to sleep is I would just imagine myself just rolling. Like I mean just straight up rolling. And anytime I do that, like, man, like I feeling like it feels like I'm rolling, but then when I come back to my five senses, it just feels like, oh, like it just dawned on me that I was just sitting here the whole time, but then I actually feel like I was completely rolling. Anytime I try to astral project, since I'm already so used to feeling that and so good at visualizing it, because I used to do it every single night as a kid when I used to go to sleep. Since I'm so good at that, that's something that I would normally do to just like, I don't know, like boost my awareness to the astral body or something like that. I mean, I don't know why I do it. It just brings back good memories, I guess, and it's a great technique for me, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking that because, like, saying I am aware. I wonder if I could use that same thing for when I try to lucid dream. I never try. I think I tried it like once or twice trying to lucid dream, but
Yeah.
yeah, like that. I am aware. I don't know how I can. I probably
Well,
can
let me
remember.
ask you this. Have you been doing the concentration exercises?
Concentration exercises. Hmm. Concentration. I mean, it's weird. Like, it's, it's hard to explain. I don't do the exercise that you tell me, but for
Yeah,
some reason, I just concentrate on things like randomly throughout the day.
yeah.
Like, let's say I'm just looking at a tree. I might do breath work and clear my mind, and then just concentrate at the tree, or just like at the clouds. Earlier, I was
Yeah.
trying to mention this to you. I was just staring at the clouds. 2 minutes later, I start seeing all these little white dots, the same fabric of color. When I try to see my aura, it'll look something just like
Yeah.
that, but just dots that just keep sparkling until I actually saw the dots moving towards each other, and I was like, whoa. So then
Yeah.
after that, I just went back to step one, and I didn't see nothing in the sky. But
Well,
yeah, I just be
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
uh-huh.
Do you want to continue being an individual who at times happens to lucid dream and astral project and grows into someone who just does it a little more frequently? Or do you want to be someone who at any given time says, you know what, when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to go lucid dream. Boom, make it happen.
You know what?
And goes
You know
over and
what?
sits down and says, you know what, I'm about to leave my body real quick. I'll be back, y'all. Sits down, boom, makes it happen.
Yeah, I get you. I get what you're getting at now. I do. You know what? I'm gonna get back to that. Like I keep telling myself, but nah, I'm tired of waiting. I'm gonna get back to my disciplined self. Now I keep doing all the stuff because I was doing all the stuff. I was writing down my dreams, concentration practicing, visualization practicing, meditate, working out, all that on a daily basis. I was doing all that, and I need to. I'm not need to. I'm going to get back to doing that. I'm going to get back to doing it. I'm trying
Ease
to
into it
start
with
off.
wherever you're at, right now. Just
Yeah.
pick up one thing for this week. I mean, because one thing you don't want to do is go from one extreme to another, because all that's going to do is swing you back into the other extreme. You know what I mean? And so slowly ease yourself in to where as you get to that centered point where you want to be, you know, you slowly got there. Your momentum doesn't take you too far, you know? And so for this next week, pick one. I would suggest picking the concentration, pick that one and start doing that every day this week. And then after 7 days, then pick another, you know, working out, get some workouts in and just slowly build versus like tomorrow. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get back to doing all 6 of these things starting day 1 tomorrow, you know? And
That's
so
what I've been doing. Just
exactly.
slowly starting.
Yeah,
Like a few
I
days
can
ago.
hear it in your voice because I've been in a similar position many times. Like, okay, this is it. I'm getting back to this ASAP, and I get extreme with it, you know, and then it just ends up swinging me eventually.
Yep. I can see it. Only a few days ago.
But
I started off small.
the
Yes,
concentration
40
is not
push-ups. Mhm.
the concentration is not only key for being successful consistently and consciously with lucid dreaming and astral projection. It's not only key, it is vital. It is vital. It's essential.
Yeah.
With what you're desiring, with what you're desiring to do with it, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You're gonna have to do it.
Oh yeah, I know. Now my concentration this week to next
Yeah,
Wednesday.
and it's a big difference between, you know, just choosing to concentrate at a random time throughout the day and every single day, like, nope, I'm doing this today right now. You know, I'm doing it every single day. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to look at this flame, I'm going to put my attention there, and anytime it goes away, I'm going to acknowledge I'm distracted, make my little check mark, and bring my attention back. I mean, that's huge, man. That's huge.
Yes, absolutely. Dang, what was I best to say? Oh yeah, ever since I started doing just little concentrations, the concentration exercise, ever since that, I became really more focused. Like out of the blue, I just straight up just stare at my teachers, not thinking, not worried about my breathing like I normally would when I concentrate. But I just stare, follow their movements, and listening. Instead of focused on my breathing or my thoughts, I'm focusing on listening and staring. So yeah, the one thing I gotta figure out how to do is completely control my attention. I'm almost there. Like when I lay down, I feel my heartbeat. So then I'll put my attention on something else so I don't feel that no more. Or yeah, that's the type of stuff that I be doing when I go to sleep to do that. But once when I'm able to control that, man, bro, the game is about to change. I promise you.
Yeah.
It's
And
about to
another thing
change.
to remember in times like that, like when you're having conversations or when you're, you know, needing to receive what someone else is saying, be sure to be mindful of that experience requires you to be receptive. And so put yourself into a deeper receptive state in those moments to really receive what they're saying and what they're doing and what you're experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's all I. Oh wait, dang. Wait, did I
Yeah.
ask you that? Oh, I don't know. That was the whole reason why I raised my hand, asking you if I can say I am aware
Oh yeah,
while I'm in a
absolutely.
dream to lucid dream. To
Yeah,
lucid dream.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I gotta figure out like how will I remember when I'm in a dream? Because I can do it sometimes. I'll just be like,
I mean,
oh,
really, I mean, honestly, this concentration exercise is gonna be your ticket. It's gonna be your ticket into the chocolate factory.
I bet. Hey, thank
Yeah,
you for this, man.
yeah, you're
Hmm.
welcome. Very welcome. Very
Be
welcome.
disciplined. I'm gonna be seeing
Yes.
police, military, all that in my dreams. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
you already know.
Join the military of the subconscious mind. Nice, nice. All right. So who would like to share next or has any questions or things? Anyone at all? Any dreams to interpret? All right. Well, then let's get right into it. Back into the visualization course. This is going to be very unique because I don't even remember what I put on these slides because I did it last week. Last week and today is a whole different lifetime for me. Okay, what do we got here? Yes, a reminder that thoughts are things. Okay. The thoughts that you are creating in your mind are actual things that have substance. You know, it might not be as strong of substance as, you know, this, you know, but this started out as a thought. And then it started out as an idea, which is a very light thought, you know. It started out as an idea and it became more dense, gathered more substance as it fell through the mind. Right? Started out on the mental level, gathered more substance, more density, made it here. Gathered more substance, more density, made it here until it actually has physical substance and density and became a, you know, Samsung S20, whatever. And so, and then for me, myself, manifesting this specific one, same operation. The whole idea of a cell phone in general, same operation. You know, it starts out as a thought, and a thought has substance and density. You know, like last time we talked about how when you're creating a thought and you're holding your attention on it, on this image, you are imprinting the image into the mental level, right? And that imprint becomes its own separate thing, separate from the image that was in your conscious mind. And then that image then begins to gain more substance and density as it manifests down into the physical. There we go. All right. So the mind is like a garden. It truly is. The mind is truly like a garden. That's why in the universal language of the mind, the subconscious mind represents the earth, because the subconscious mind is just like the earth. It's feminine. It is fertile to receive the seed thoughts of the conscious mind that are planted in there. Hey, she's back. Wonderful. So your mind is like a garden. And like any garden that that has been neglected, that you're only just now becoming aware of, there's going to be weeds all over the place. You know, what's a weed? A weed is a flower that you don't want there, that doesn't produce anything. You know, it's just in the way, taking up space. And so the weeds within your mind, within the garden of your mind, are the unproductive thoughts, the unconscious thoughts that aren't producing what you want them to produce. You know, they aren't producing what you want to experience. They aren't producing, you transforming into the person you want to become. So whenever you come across a garden that's been untended to, that you're now wanting to plant things in, and it has weeds all over it, what is the very first step you're going to take? Are you going to just start throwing seed on the ground? No, of course not, because that's going to be useless. The weeds will choke out the seeds, and the seeds will never get any nutrients to actually grow into anything. Do you just mow down the weeds and then plant the seeds? No, because the roots are still there. You know what I mean? Like, so if we just try to eliminate the unproductive thoughts, within our conscious mind alone, that's not going to do much for us. The surface level, what's under the surface, where are the roots at? The roots really lie in the mental level. So we have to change the thoughts, not just the emotions, not just our actions out here in the physical, not just the emotions, but our thoughts are at the root. So we have to uproot these weeds, these negative thoughts that are unproductive, that aren't producing what we want. And when we do that, when we remove the weeds, then we are creating space within our mind. And that space within our mind is going to allow the thoughts that we then plant into our mind to gather the nutrients and nutrition and come to fruition. So the concentration exercise, especially when it's coupled with meditation, is going to be very key at creating this space within your mind. And the concentration alone by itself, but also coupled with meditation, will still strengthen it, but just the concentration alone will give you more awareness of your thoughts, which will help you in identifying the thoughts that are negative and unproductive that you want to have removed. Because, what's the use of gardening if you don't even know which plant is a weed and which plant is a flower and which plant is a vegetation that's going to produce some vegetables? You know what I mean? You walk up to a garden that's full of weeds, but you think all of those are flowers, then you're going to be like, oh, I don't have to do anything. My job's done. Let me just throw some water on here. So you have to be able to identify these weeds. You have to be able to identify them. The concentration is going to allow you to do that, because concentration is going to allow you to hold your attention on your thoughts long enough to one, identify it, but also follow it back to its root. Holding your attention on it long enough to really understand where it's coming from, what's driving it, what is stimulating it to remain in your mind, what's fueling it to be there, to continue to come up. And so then it'll be easier to remove those thoughts. And then once you do, like I said, you'll have space within your mind to then plant the thoughts that you want. So when you're practicing the concentration exercise, especially if you've already done it for like 4 weeks, every day of the week for 4 weeks straight, that's 28 straight days. That's a lot. That means for hundreds of times you have practiced identifying when you were distracted, removing your attention from the distraction, and placing it on your object of concentration. And so when you do that, then you get to a point where you're weeding out your own garden. Oh, my attention is on a thought that I do not want to think. It's not going to produce, it's not productive for me. Let me remove my attention from it and let me place my attention on what I do want. Let me create an image of what I do want to experience. Let me create an image of who I do want to become. Let me create an image of the life that I do want to live. And when you're doing that attention that you're giving to that thought that you do want to produce is just like providing water and sunlight to the plants you want to grow. Sunlight is what? Awareness. So the more awareness, the more light you can place on that image, the more vibrant you can make that image in your mind. Because visualization, it's called visualization, but when you incorporate the other senses as well, feeling, sound, smell, taste, you know what I mean? Like if you're wanting to manifest a house, really see it in your mind, walk in, You know what I mean? Take your shoes off and feel the carpet under your toes. I mean, feel the coolness of the hard wood floors underneath your feet. You know, feel the temperature on your skin. What's it smell like? Are you cooking something? Is your significant other or somebody else cooking something for you? Did you just order some food and it's in the kitchen, just smelling good? You got maybe some potpourri or whatever, you know, some incense running or whatever, you know, throughout the house. What's it smell like? What's the air taste like in your house that you're wanting to manifest? What's the air taste like? Walk through the room. You know what I mean? When you walk through that first door, what's really there behind that door? Little stairwell to the right, a little hallway. Let's walk down the hallway. Man, I'm a slide my fingers across the wall and feel the wall. And the joy that it brings me to know that this is mine. This is my abode. I have actually manifested this. This is wild. I remember a day when I was sitting on my balcony, just picturing it in my mind. And it's so amazing how it's here for real. You know what I mean? Go in and sit on the couch, looking at the TV, you know what I mean? Cut on the fireplace, you know, and sit with the fire for a minute. Listen to the crackling of the fire with a nice cup of tea in your hand. You know what I mean? You're just sitting there in your little recliner that rocks back and forth. You know what I mean? I mean, just boom, just like that. Really immerse yourself. Like I forgot y'all was here for a minute. You know what I mean? Because I was in there. I immersed myself more than just my visual sense. You know, I gave a lot of attention and providing water and sunlight to that image.
I got a real bad migraine, y'all.
Oh, they got a real bad migraine. All right. And so really immerse yourself into the experience. You know, that's how you want to visualize, man. Put yourself there and just go with it. Just run with it. I only stopped because I was like, oh shit, let me not go too deep into this. I got people here that are wanting me to go forward. Because I could have went on and on and on, man. I could have went into the bedroom and started getting my dirty clothes together to do some laundry. You know what I mean? That's what I would have done next. I would have went outside and grabbed the mower and mowed the lawn and just went through the whole fucking lawn mowing experience. And at many different times, just stopping and looking up at the house. It's nice sunny day with no clouds in the sky. And I'm just so grateful for what I've produced and the life that I've built from where I came from. And like, man, like not only do I own a house, man, but I own this fucking house. This is insane, man. I still can't believe it, you know, and just then pulling out the weed eater and just weed eating the whole fucking thing, putting them away, going upstairs, changing into some shorts, some swim trunks, going and swimming in the pool that I got in the back. Look, I'm getting right back into it, man. Feeling the water across your face, jumping up, pulling my hair back, everything, every aspect of it, you know, but the end result is what you want to focus upon. You know, the end result. So I'm not visualizing signing the papers. I'm not visualizing going and looking at the house for, you know, to put in an offer on it or nothing like that. You know, I'm not visualizing driving through neighborhoods looking for a house that I want to buy. No, I'm visualizing the end result. That's all I got to do. I'm visualizing that. You know what I mean? Don't need to visualize the process. You don't need to limit the universe by wanting it to produce it in this specific way. No, this is what I want. Universe, I've done my half. You do your half by getting it to me. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how you want to approach it. Really immerse yourself into it. Use all of your senses, especially feeling. Feeling is so powerful, and not just emotional feeling, but like I said, I felt the wall. I felt it. I'm not lying to you. I for real felt it, man. I was there. You know, the universal law or the universal truth, you are where your attention is. I was truly there. And the thing about that, where the feeling really helps you to be there, is because I'm currently existing in this present moment. And the more that I can put my attention and exist within that reality, the faster I can shift over to it, right? And so that's where the key is in that. And it's going to intensify how rapid you manifest these things. So the mind creates images like a photographic dark room. Is anyone in here familiar with like a dark room that I'm talking about? Or does anyone, especially maybe like Marquez or anybody else who's kind of younger, even know what I'm talking about? A photographic dark room? Like, does anyone not know what I'm talking about? And two, is anyone like very familiar with it, as in they've, been inside one and practiced it, or they just know the mechanics of it, of what goes on inside of it?
Dark room. What is that? Just like a completely dark room, no sound, no visual sight, no nothing.
Yeah. So Marquez, long ago, when your parents were your age, not really that long ago. How old are you again? I don't even know.
14, just turned 14 like 2 days ago.
Oh wow, holy shit, man. I thought you were like 16, 17, like in high school about to graduate.
Nope. Young, that's smart. Everybody's surprised.
Okay, so yeah. So yeah, no wonder you really don't know. So there was a time when pictures were not taken with a cell phone. I'm not gonna say it like that. I'm just being funny. But you know those cameras with the film, right? And the negative, or maybe you don't. Okay. So there was okay, I got an assignment for you, Marquez. And
say less.
I don't ever give out assignments, but I'm giving you an assignment this time because I feel like I'm comfortable doing that. YouTube how camera film negatives are turned into pictures. And that's what we're going to talk about here. But if you YouTube it, it'll connect a lot of dots, being able to visually see what I'm verbally going to describe. Okay. But a camera would take a picture, right? And when a camera takes a picture, even your cell phone does this. Like, it's like, I can't make my hands do it, but I'm just going to make, like, this is closed. And then all of a sudden, for a split second, the closed lens allows light in. You know what I mean? And now there's like, your camera has all these different settings. If you got a smartphone, it has all these different settings where you can determine how long it opens. Does it open real quick? Does it open real for a long time and come back real slow? All of that's going to produce a different type of image, right? Because it's going to determine how much light is being let in to touch the negative. Because behind this thing that lets in light is like a plastic square that's on a strip with a lot more squares, right? But this plastic square, the light's let in, right? The light's let in real quick, and it is impressed upon the plastic square. And a negative image of what is seen from the perspective of that square is placed on to the film. Have you ever seen camera film, Marquez? Have you ever seen camera film?
Camera film. What is that, a movie or something?
No. Yeah. I just don't really know how much of what I'm explaining is being grasped by you if you're not familiar with even what a film is. But essentially I'm describing it in fuller detail for a purpose, because it's so related to visualization. But essentially, the amount of light that's let in is going to determine the image, the quality of the image impressed upon this negative film, right? And so then you take the negative film out of the back. So imagine I'm taking pictures with my camera phone all day, and then I have to open up the back of the camera phone and pull out a roll of plastic images, like when you pull up. When you pull up your images on your phone, where do you go to? The camera roll, right? It's not called a camera roll for no reason on your phone. It's called a camera roll because it used to come in a roll. It used to be all the images rolled up. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's called a camera roll. So you would then take that and drop it off at the pharmacy. They had a little camera department. They still do. You can still go to Walgreens. I don't know if they still have a dark room to produce the film. I doubt it. But what they would do is they would go into a completely dark room, because if light touched this, it would affect the pictures, because the pictures are made off of that glimpse of light, right? So they go into a dark room, they open up the camera roll, and they have 4 tubs of liquid, right, on the table. They have 4 tubs of liquid on a table, and then they place the negative, the little strip of plastic that the light image is on, and you can look at this strip of plastic and you can tell what it is. You can see it, and you'll put it on this little strap that holds it in place, and then there's another light above it that shines through it onto the first bucket. And then you take like pictures. You've seen like regular pictures from back in the day, right? Like a photo album or anything, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's why.
So that piece of paper that has the like smooth shiny top, and the regular backside, they would place that inside of the first bucket of water, right? And then shine light through the negative image, and shine light through that, so that it then impresses the image onto the piece of paper. Then you take the piece of paper out of the first solution, put it in the second bucket of solution. Then after so long, the image is starting to get more clear, starting to actually show up. You pull it out of that one and you put it on the third bucket, then the fourth bucket, then you hang it up to dry. And then you let go and walk away and let it do the rest. And then slowly, a blank piece of paper now has an image on it that used to be just something out in the world. And so I did the best I can describing that for you, but that's why you definitely want to go and watch a YouTube video. Maybe I'll try to find one and post it in the group for everybody to kind of rewatch. And because I mean, yeah, a lot of us who are older, we know what film is, but maybe not. I mean, until I learned this, I didn't know the dark room and exactly how it worked. So my teacher told me to go find out. To go out, you got to go find out on your own. He didn't tell me like I'm telling y'all. But that is the mechanics of producing an image, and your mind works in an identical way. The amount of light that you give the image, the clearer the image is going to be, right? And anyone who, like Oscar last week, was describing his experience with the concentration exercise, and he was talking about how everything was kind of just fading away, and all he was seeing was the tunnel vision. But really what was happening was the negative effect. Everything else was in his mind creating a negative effect, which then erased the image itself. Like same thing with music. If you have a song with the instrumental and the lyrics, and you want to get just the instrumental, and you have a copy of the lyrics, if you reverse the frequency of the lyrics, creating a negative, place it on top of the song, it will erase the lyrics, and then you're left with just the beat, the negative effect. And so this happens in your mind, and this negative effect that is then impressed upon your mental level. So
I get it. I
Okay.
get
Good. I would still suggest watching that, because other things might click for you. That'll help you understand the mechanics of how your mind's working even more. But I'm glad you're understanding and following along. I didn't doubt it. I just wanted to make sure I was as thorough as possible to give you the best.
All right.
Okay. And so when your conscious mind is thinking like a specific thought that you're wanting to visualize, the more attention that you give it, the more light that you give it, the more you immerse yourself fully into it, then the stronger imprint that it's going to impress upon that other piece of paper. You have the negative up here with the light shining through, and then it creates a whole nother image on a piece of paper. So by the time the picture's done, you really have 2 pictures. You have the negative and the positive, and the positive is what you keep and put inside your photo album, hang up on your wall, things like that. And so, but you have 2 images now. So the same thing with your visualization. Like what I just did on that house, I mean, it was intense. It was intense enough that it impressed something within my subconscious mind. And so there are now two images, the image that I still have in my conscious mind that I can go to, but also the impression that I just made in my subconscious mind, to where my subconscious mind is like, whoa, okay, let's start giving that some energy. Let's start manifesting that. Let's start bringing that to you, you know? And so I don't have to start visualizing the money that I need for this house. I don't, because that's another way of limiting limiting the universe. Maybe it's gifted to me. Maybe who knows what the fuck happens, you know? So I just need to image the end result, not anything else, you know? And so that's part of why, you know, visualizing money isn't really that, I wouldn't really suggest that too much, just because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but money's just a means to an end. You know, it's an energy in order to exchange for something else. What do you want to use that money for? Visualize those things. You know, save yourself a step on half, you know, because half the time you won't need money for these things if you visualize them in this way. You won't need money at all, they'll just come to you. You know, so I remember very early on when I first started learning about visualization, on the 10 most wanted desires list that we talked about, one of my very, actually not one of, my very first list, I put on there, I wanted more crystals at the time. I mean, this is like 11 years ago, 10 years ago. And and I put on there, wanted more crystals. Well, I had just shifted from one job to another job. And at that job, the executive chef overheard me talking to somebody about, you know, dreams or meditation, something, who knows. And he started talking, he was into that stuff, but he had a bunch of crystals that he doesn't really use anymore, and was just going to give them to me. And I'm thinking he's got like a handful. Man, this man shows up with a freezer bag full of crystals, like a ton. And I'm just like, oh shit. And then the next time, like, you know, 3 hours later, you know, I'm like so grateful for him. I put him in my car, go back to work. And like 3-4 hours later, when I go to read my list the next time, I come across that. I'm like, oh shit, I just manifested more crystals. No way. You know, because even when he told me, I didn't, you know, I still had that on my list. Like, okay, you'll give me a call, but I'm wanting like a ton. And it just happened. But I didn't need any money for that. If I would have been visualizing money to be able to buy these, you know, $40, $60 crystals and shit, then, you know, I would have gotten in the way of the fastest route to get it to me. But anyways, what we were getting at is that a second image is created, just like in the dark room. You're creating that second image, and there's 4 different buckets that it's going to go through. You know, this first bucket, this second bucket, this third bucket, this fourth bucket, until you hang it up to dry. You know, the very last, what we'll go over next week on visualization, the very last step of visualization, there's 6 steps. The very last step is release, letting it go. Because if you don't let it go within your mind, it can't go anywhere but stay in your mind. You know what I mean? So if you have to let it go in order for it to physicalize. So like, just like in the thing, you know, the person hangs it up to dry and walks away. They don't hang it up to dry and just, you know, still holding on to it, messing with it. They're gonna mess up the picture if they keep fucking around with it. You know, it's gonna be like, why is my shit blurry? Why does my face look droopy? I mean, I don't know what the real effect would be, but I'm sure it would mess it up somehow. So the dark room, light through the negative, they give light through the negative. It comes separate image on a different piece of paper. Paper moves in different buckets. Finally, a full image appears. Okay, I described all that. Great. All right. Yes, so the flower exercise. Here is your first actual visualization exercise. And hopefully up until now, in this course, you have been doing the concentration exercise up until this point. And then now you can replace the concentration exercise with this, and this will be your concentration exercise. Or, you know, you will add this to it. Ideally, you would just add this to it and have 2 10-minute exercises, one a concentration exercise and one a visualization exercise. And for all of you like that are here right now listening, you don't want to stop doing your concentration exercise and replace it with this unless you've completed all 4 weeks of the concentration, the keys to success course, that part of it. and you've done the concentration for 28 straight days. I mean, if you miss a day or two within the 28 days, but like if you went like 14 days and then didn't do anything for like 10 days and then was kind of off and on, and it's just been 28 days, like no, you don't. I mean, you can do, like I said, you can do whatever you want, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. You'd put yourself in the best position by truly giving yourself 28 straight days and then implementing this or adding it to it or replacing it. But I would most definitely suggest adding it to. I mean, that's only 20 minutes. If anybody watches TV, that's less than one TV show. So, universal law of sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? But this is what you will do with this technique. You will go and buy a flower. And I mean, I get it. We're in a recession. It's in the fall time. What flowers are even really available? You can get a picture of a flower if you like. It'll still be successful. It'll just be different experience. But I'm just sharing with you what I would highly suggest that you do. Buy a flower. I mean, you're probably going to need buy a new flower like once a week or once every other week. But when you buy it one at a time, it's not really that much. And that might be another thing. It might be hard to find a single flower because they'll want to sell you like 10 or 9, 6 at least. You can go to a little local floral and work up a deal with them. Just tell them, I got this goofy mentor who's telling me to look at a flower, one single flower. Who cares? Tell them it's for our project. Who cares? But just buy you a flower. A tulip or a daisy is ideal because they are simple, yet a little complex, but they're simple. They have less petals than most flowers, like a rose or a dandelion or all these other kind of flowers are going to have lots of petals, or be really big, like a hydrangea that has both lots of petals and it's really big. But a tulip and daisy is it's not extremely big, but it's not real small, and there aren't a whole lot of petals. So it's something simple to start with. Like I said, if you can't buy a flower, just get a good picture, a good quality picture of one, and not on your cell phone. Do not use your cell phone for this. I all the time I say, do whatever you like. This is your journey. These are your exercises. But that's one thing I would definitely 100% say, don't use your cell phone. It's gonna mess you up more than it'll help you. But you'll want to do it for 10 minutes. And what you will do is you will hold the flower in front of you. I'm not really hold it, but like set it on the table in front of you, and you'll just look at it, right? And just really let the image of it impress into your mind, and then close your eyes and see it in your mind, right? See exactly the flower you just saw in your mind. And the whole flower. Don't zoom in and just look at one petal and try to piece it together. Just see the whole thing, and it may fade away like a split second, a half a second, or a whole second after you close your eyes. That's fine. If that's what happens, then open your eyes, look at the flower again till you feel you really have it together, and then close your eyes and see it in your mind again. Like, I've done this exercise, so I can close my eyes and I can see the different flowers that I actually did. I can see them clear as day. I can describe them to you. My very first one was purple with a little light purple at the top. My favorite one was this red one with like yellow streaks in it, but it was like red at the bottom and yellow at the top, and it looked like the yellow was streaking through the red, but also looked like the red was streaking through the yellow. It's hard to describe, but I can see it clear as day. And so I'm saying that just to say, starting out, I also had the same experience where I close my eyes and then immediately I'm pulling my eyes back open and looking at it again. My eyes are open for far more of the exercise than they are closed when I first started out. So that's fine. That's normal. It's okay. And you all are doing this exercise only like 28 days after doing it. Me, I did this exercise like I was doing a concentration exercise every day for 10 minutes a day. I never missed a day, not a single one. Or maybe like 9, 10, 12 weeks before I started doing this exercise. And I was still, with my eyes open more so than they were closed. So, don't feel like, don't judge yourself on that. Allow yourself to be right where you're at, and just know that with regular discipline and practice, you will get stronger. Because it didn't take very long, only like maybe 2 weeks to really to then my eyes were closed way more than they were open. So yeah, gaze at the flower. You don't want to stare at the flower. You just want to gaze at a soft gaze, and because you're going to be receptive, receive the image of the flower, receive it into your mind, just see it in your mind, and then close your eyes, continue seeing it in your mind. Use your willpower to hold it there as long as you can. As soon as it fades away, open your eyes back up, receive again. Close your eyes and image the flower in your mind. Whenever the image fades, reopen your eyes in order to gather a fresh image on the image, gather a refresh on the image, and repeat. Does anyone have any questions on this exercise?
Just real quickly, is it more important that the flower, or I'll put it this way, what it sounds like is, as far as flower options, we want to kind of go simple just because it's easier to see in our imaginations. Because I have like some money trees that I'm thinking about using for this exercise. But I didn't know if that really mattered as far as the simplicity of the actual flower.
I would, the money tree may work, but like if it's easy for you to isolate one leaf, like one full leaf with all the different leaves off of it, like one full sprout, if it's easy for you to isolate just one of those, then yes, I would say that would be fine. Like if you're trying to do the whole money tree, I mean, even if it's a small one, that's gonna get to be pretty complex. But yeah, yeah, sure, 100%. Even if it's a big ass fucking money tree and you just sit, a little further back, yeah, do it, man. Yeah, stretch, do it.
Yeah, I pretty much have some like little saplings now that I'm growing, but I'm like, yeah, I can definitely essentially for this exercise isolate, like you said, just one of the little clusters to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It'll definitely it'll work, and that's one that's not too complex and it's not too simple. So it fits right in there. The only reason I hesitated is just because just like I said with the concentration exercise, I gave 4 different options: clock hand, water dropping out of the faucet, a cloud, and a flame. And I said, out of these 4, I would highly suggest a flame, but do whatever you want, pick whatever you want. With this, the reason I said I highly suggest a flame is because of the effects that flame will have on your mind and your attention, and it will help. It will accelerate how fast your attention expands more than if you just did the same exact exercise with something else. So the same thing with this flower. The flower is it being a flower, and a flower like a tulip or daisy versus like a dandelion, which in we kind of subconsciously see as a weed, an annoyance. Even if we like dandelions, there's still that programming. And so the flower has an effect. The fact that it's a flower has an effect on your consciousness. It's just different. That's why I say, if it's highly suggested to buy a flower, but a picture, if you can't do that, a picture will do. It'll get the job done. But the flower itself, it'll have a different effect on your consciousness, and a beneficial one. Because I'll just leave it at that. Because I want you all to have your own experience and discover these things on your own. Without any kind of influence on what to be looking for. I don't want you to look for anything, but just allow it to be. But yeah, a money tree will totally work. I was sure planning to use my money tree. Nice. I need to get me a money tree. I used to have one, and I need to get another one. I left it. Hopefully it's still moving. Great minds think alike. Absolutely. Marquez, were you about to say something with the question? Yes.
About them rose bushes out. Dang, boy. I was about to say about the rose bushes outside. Can I just like stare at one of the, not the petals, like one of the roses of them, and then just keep that image inside of my mind? Or do you want it to have like a blank screen around? What does that mean?
What kind of rose bush? Is it like a, I don't know if you would know what a knockdown,
I mean,
knockout.
show you then. Like, hold up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Do that.
Break it up because or the connection.
Kind of depends on like how many petals it's gonna have. Like if it has a ton of petals, it's just gonna make it a little harder for you. But yeah, you can certainly use it. I would suggest cutting off one at the base of the stem, and bringing that in and putting it in a little cup. Hey, there you go. Kids. Yeah, man. Man, you lying. You ain't 14, man. You a grown man.
I didn't think it was gonna.
Okay, yeah. So, man, where are you from, man? It's dark as hell here. It's still daylight out there.
Yeah.
Where are you from? I hear you. What state are you in? I ain't hear you.
Washington State. Yeah,
Okay,
Washington.
Washington. Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I would use. You can use one of those, but yeah, I would get one of the rose flowers and take that stem all the way to the main shoot, the main branch, and cut it off at the where the stem meets the branch, and then put that in like a little small cup with some water or something, and then use that and set it on a table in front of you and just look at that and use that, versus standing outside with all of the other plants and flowers around it that are going to kind of encourage more distraction. You close your eyes and then open your eyes and, oh shit, which flower was I looking at again? Oh yeah, that one. So it'll be better for you to do it that way. But yeah, that'll work. It's perfect. You already have an abundance of flowers right there. Beautiful.
Yeah, sure is. Dang,
What, North Carolina? Yeah, I'm over here in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. I need to get back to Cincinnati. All right. Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions or on anything that we discussed?
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned like about holding the gaze for like 10 minutes. Do you go in between like 5 minutes, just look, or with the gaze before you close your eyes? Like,
yeah. You just want to gaze at it just long enough to capture the image within your mind, right? So you're not gazing at it for the whole 10 minutes. You set your little timer or alarm for 10 minutes, and then gaze at it, and then close your eyes and see it in your mind. And you're only opening your eyes once the image in your mind fades away. Then open your eyes to refreshing that the vitality of the image in your mind. Then close your eyes again, see it in your mind, and hold that image for as long as you can. And then because this is also going to strengthen your willpower too. And then also, if you're using your phone for your timer, be sure to put for that 10 minutes, put your phone in like airplane mode, so that you don't create any extra distractions for yourself. It'll go a long way. And then pull it back out when you're done. Yeah. Did that answer your question for you?
yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I just always want to make sure I was clear in what I was like, understanding what you were asking and clear in what I was conveying. Beautiful. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or thoughts about anything at all? Not even just the visualization, anything at all? All right. Well, I'm going to put together the slides for next week, and we're going to go over the 6 steps in visualization. Unless it's like last week when we have a lot of time, or a lot of people come in and sharing things, because that's more important. and us finish. We'll eventually finish this though. But I'm gonna right now go and make sure that the previous recordings are uploaded. 2 of them I have done. I just haven't put them on the site that the link in the Discord leads you to. So I'll go ahead and put all of that up now, make sure all of that's up, and get us prepared for next week. Yeah. And if you have any more dreams, yeah, keep throwing them dreams in the Discord chat. And like with you, and for some of you who've been here for a while, if you see, even if someone else shares a dream and you only know what one symbol is, just throw it out there. Be like, oh, police, that's self-discipline. I know that one. But just, you don't have to like interpret the whole dream, but whatever of it that you do notice, put that in the chat. Because one, the more we talk about dreams and things in there and just with each other, the more you're giving more attention to your dreams. And so you're going to have deeper experiences with your dreams, deeper understanding. And the more you begin to stretch yourself of, oh, I know that symbol, and acknowledge that, then the deeper you're going to have of that understanding the language. Yeah. Santana.
So when I was doing a mental exercise, I was projecting my mind, my consciousness somewhere else. I had an instance where there was an ambulance that shot past me with 2 racing police cars. And I think I had that dream about 2 months ago. So I've been trying to figure out what that meant. I didn't know.
Yeah. You said an ambulance and 2 police cars?
Yeah, the police cars was like trailing the ambulance it shot past, going.
Yeah. So an ambulance is going to be all about healing. And the police car is going to be all about discipline. But it's not like, because your subconscious mind easily could have shown you a doctor and 2 police officers running down the street. It could have showed you all types of things, but it showed you an ambulance, which is a vehicle, and 2 police cars, which are vehicles. So this is more speaking towards healing, and they were going down the street, which is the road, your life path. In order to, get as you're going deeper, you either are or you need to give more attention to healing your body and becoming more disciplined in regards to your body, either maybe like exercise or what you're eating, or and not even just those things, but like other things that are like disciplines for your body, like different disciplines that affect your body. Like either give more attention to it, or you have been giving attention to it, and that's what's causing the progression you've been having. So that's for you to identify. Nice. Yeah, Mr. James. No LeBron.
Why? Since I already had you on here, and right now I'm doing, trying to be as intentional as possible, like I said, in my routine, my time management. Do you have any advice or tips as far as maybe a night routine as to prepare for maybe optimal dreaming or optimal recall? Because it's so much out there. I know it's sort of trial and error, but I like to maybe hear some of your thoughts on maybe some practices or routines to incorporate.
Yeah. So do you already do you already have your dream journal where you write down tomorrow's date and I will remember my dreams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do it fully digital on my phone. At least I have been doing it because it's just easier to keep up with. Like, I got on my iCloud, I don't have to worry about that. And so yeah, I've been doing that. And when I don't remember, I still write the mantra every morning. And outside of right there, I just set my intention. I'm really big on affirmations. And then, outside that, just get sort of winding down, relaxing, sort of trying to, again, focus the energy, that's mainly what I do.
Yeah. So the first thing I would suggest is 100% get an actual notebook and pen. I know it's easier with a cell phone, but you'll have more success with the actual book and pen and paper and writing it with your hand. Now, you know, if you're out somewhere and you're not home and you don't have, use your cell phone. You know, I do that too. But you definitely want to make the majority of what you're recording into those books and those pages and actually writing it. It just has a totally different effect. You will identify that you recall more because it's very easy to type real fast. You can text into the note way faster than you can write on a paper. And so, especially if you're dictating it, you know, even faster. And so one of the effects and benefits of writing it, just as far as like dream recall and remembering more, is as you like your thoughts have to slow down and wait for your writing to catch up. So that automatically creates space. And I can't tell you how many more times you'll be sitting there writing down a dream and be like, oh shit, before that, this happened. Oh, but before that, this happened. And you'll just start to remember more. Oh yeah, and then this was going on in the background. You know, just so much more is gonna come to your mind just by making that one simple change, as well as just, I mean, that's mainly the main thing. But it also activates more of your mind because it takes more muscles to write with your hands versus just the two thumbs. And so those are the two main reasons why I would say that, and the benefits that you'll have from them. But as far as anything other than that, I was just wanting to ask if you recorded it. One thing is first is your breath, and then what you're doing with your mind. So what I would suggest is, well, before what I would suggest, two things that will help the most is one, when you're actually fully done and you actually close your eyes, practice the long breath, which is taking long, slow, deep breaths, and give yourself like 10 to 20 breaths. Just breathe longer and longer, slower and slower, deeper and deeper. That's going to pretty much condition your body to get ready for sleep. It's going to put it in a very relaxed state. Then the next thing with your mind is give your mind something that it can put its attention on that will encourage moving into a dream. So with that, I would suggest watching your breath, following your breath, you know, just follow your breath in. And all you have to do is just watch your breath like you watch TV, just watch it. After you do your 10 breaths, then just breathe normal and just watch it. That's it. That's all you got to do. You can have thoughts coming in and out, going. They'll be less because you did the breathing, but and just watch your breath. Just watch it. Now, as far as what I would suggest, instead of watching your breath, visualize. Do exactly what we were discussing with the different things that you want, like you said, you wanted to be, you wanted to cultivate a life of a successful entrepreneur that has a big impact on other people's lives. It sounded right. Is that accurate?
Yes, more or less. You know, I'm a social justice, you know, warrior. You know, that's how I would describe myself.
Okay. So your ideal life, like no obstacles in the way of getting there. You have made it to what in the present moment is your ideal life. What does that look like? What does the end result of that look like?
I would say financially free, be able to make a positive impact, I guess, and you know, joyous. You know, I'm happy. Yeah, that's how I guess
Okay.
I would.
So what does financially free mean for you right now? What does that mean to the full fruition of that for yourself?
I would say financially free would be meaning that I'm bringing in enough passive income without me working at all to take care of myself in surplus. So, you know, more than just my bills. And
how much is that a month?
I would describe my financial free. Say again.
How much is that a month?
I would say my goal is at least 10K a month. You know, that's the goal I'm going for right now. 10K a month.
Now, outside of that goal, now now remember, you're currently living the ideal life. So that's going to be, you know, whatever other lifestyle, like the type of
Like the
lifestyle you
ending
were living
result.
then. Yeah, the end result, you know, so the house you're going to be in, the cars you're going to be driving, the experiences you're going to be having, the flights you're going to be taking. You know, 10,000 might be where for you right now.
Yeah.
What would that be for that James?
For that, James, I would say
what kind of monthly um residual income, or what? Hold on, what was the word you used again?
Passive income or
Passive,
your
yeah,
residual
yeah.
income.
What amount of passive income does that James need to be a surplus in the way you described it?
I would say 100K a month. You know, that's probably
100K a month.
more my speed.
Okay, good. And like, does he have multiple accounts?
Yeah, so you know, you got the investment accounts, you got the you know, because like I said, financially, you know, what I've learned again, sort of post law school, is how financial how I guess I wasn't financially literate. So sort of my whole moving forward and sort of how I envision myself career wise is just using the tools and system that, you know, it's like the rules of the game, you know, using, you know, leveraging the credit and, you know, building the businesses and being able to you know, it obviously, you know, you got the materialistic things, but more so these accounts and sort of what I'm doing is for one, my family, and two, to, you know, to give back to my community, you know, people who like me, people who are poor, and people who are working class, you know. So
yeah.
that's more so what I do. So I vision myself, like I said, helping others, and you know, having a certain quality of life, of course, and my family. You know, I don't have any kids or anything like that, but as I envision that, I would, you know, I want to be able to do, you know, what I want to do when I want to do it, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, what are the type of things that that James would experience that brings joy and happiness?
I would say more travel, less time working, you know, doing the active 9 to 5 grind.
So what would that entail? Because some of that work still needs to be done, right?
Right. I would say vertical integration. You know, that's the way
you got a team of people.
Got a team.
Yeah. So I mean, all of those things, you know, pretty much that's what I mean, like the end result. Really put yourself in the experience, you know. So as soon as your eyes close, you know, do your breathing, but then as soon as your breathing's done, as soon as your eyes closed, boom, those eyes open, and you know, I gotta get up. Let me send out a little email to the team on the things for today, you know, and boom, that part of the day's done. Let me double check my bags, make sure everything's good to go. You know, let me go run down to the bank, pull out a good smooth 30K, you know, because I'm going on this trip with me and whoever, you know, and I got, you know, let me call up the family, you know, make sure they all got all their stuff prepared. We're meeting at the airport because we all going to you know, Cairo, you know, wherever. And just really put yourself there, man. And you know, on the way, let me stop down at the office because we're meeting with a client that has a non-for-profit that we're gonna be investing into, or whatever it is, you know. And I mean, you're just putting yourself there, man. When you go into that room with the meeting with the other people and really feeling the excitement and gratitude that you have because of how you see their excitement and joy, you know what I mean? Like really feel it, man. When you're sitting there looking at your phone at the different bank accounts and moving the money around that you need to, you know, feel your phone in your hand, feel the touch screen on your left hand as you're touching. I mean, really put yourself there, man. Feel the carpet on your feet when you hop out of the bed and start to get ready for the day. You know, feel the breeze on your face as you're walking out to the car. You know what I mean? And hit the little key clicker. You know what I mean? Just really put yourself in there, and eventually you'll fall asleep. But I mean, that's honestly, that's the very best time to visualize. The very best, like it's not even close. Not even close. It's the very best time to visualize.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna try that. It's like as you were saying, and as I sort of again, get the light bulbs going off. I'm like, okay, it makes perfect sense, logically and sort of vibrationally. It's like, yeah, you're putting yourself in that state to be able to receive.
Exactly, and I mean, you are exactly what we're talking about, impressing into the subconscious mind, this is what I want to experience, bring me this experience. You're not like I said earlier, you're not visualizing the hiring process of this team. You're not visualizing the moves you have to make in order to get to a point where you have this supplemental income coming in, or not supplemental. I don't know why this word is lost to me right now. I use it all the time.
Yeah, just passive.
Passive.
Yeah.
I use it all the time, but right now it's just lost it. But yeah, so you don't have to visualize the process. It's pretty much what I'm getting at. You don't have to visualize none of the process, because then all you're going to be manifesting is the process. You know what I mean? And so not necessarily the result. So you want to be in the end result and really use all of your senses. So yeah, beautiful. Great question, man. V, you out here somewhere?
I am.
Vi, I'm sorry.
It's all good. How is everyone?
Good. Doing great. Sounds like most everybody else is doing great.
Sorry I had to step out. My
No
husband
problem at all.
ran into a little issue. He was flying to the Bahamas. He flew out of Orlando and the plane got diverted because of the weather, so he missed his connection.
Man.
So
That's not so bad when it's coming back, but when you're going there, it's like, man, you cutting into my Bahama time.
right. He's trying to get home for his mom's birthday. So
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so he's from the islands?
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, I definitely hope he makes it in time. Mama's birthday, you can't miss that.
Right. So what was the question?
Oh, I just didn't know if we hadn't heard from you, so didn't know if you had any questions over what you did catch, or anything you want to share over the exercises that you've been practicing, and the kind of awarenesses and understandings that you've been building through that, or any thoughts or questions that you have in regards to any of those experiences.
You remember that my I have big issues with concentration and attention, and actually just started a new ADHD medicine. And kind of going through a lot of med changes, so it's making things really difficult. So I've been doing the clouds, but I've been trying also to do the smoke from the incense to try to stay focused. It's just really hard and it's frustrating. And so when I come to the class and I'm hearing how successful everybody was, and you guys are all so much more advanced than I am. I'm not advanced at all. I'm such a newbie.
All right, hold on. I was gonna let you go on, but I'm gonna stop you because as you keep going deeper into it, you're doing just fine. A lot of what you may be experiencing is the manifestation of those thoughts that you're exuding right now. You know what I mean? Of either self-doubt or not being as worthy, and not saying that that's what you were coming from, but that's kind of more along the lines of what's at the root of that.
Yes,
right?
that's about right.
Yeah. And so, a lot of what you're probably experiencing is a result of those weeds. You know what I mean? Like the mind's a garden. So those are just weeds that need to be removed. That's all. Because you're planting seeds of wanting to grow and with concentration, but you first have to remove the weeds in order to plant those seeds. So, with the concentration exercise, right? What you're supposed to be doing is remove it. When you become distracted, you remove your attention from the distraction and place it back on, the smoke from the incense, right? Is that right? Is that how you're doing it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. The reason we're practicing part of the reason that we're practicing this is like a metaphysician, we're being scientists, have a controlled environment to practice, conduct an experiment. And so that's what you're doing. But then you take those results and reapply it out into the real world. So whenever you're experiencing and realize, whenever you realize you're becoming distracted from what you do want to experience, like just now, you all are far more advanced than me. I'm not anywhere near as good. Oh, wait, hold on. Those thoughts are not what I want to experience. Those thoughts are distractions. They are that worry, that doubt, that fear is distracting me is taking my attention away from what I do want. My attention is on these doubts and worries right now. That's not what I want. Let me remove my attention from the distraction. Let me place my attention on what I do want. Okay. That's why I always say, that's why I would always practice it this way. And I always say for you all to practice it this way. When you realize you're distracted, one, make your tick mark on the paper. Have a piece of paper to make a tick mark. And yeah, for you, James, I don't think you were ever here for me to say that, or Santana, because it's not in the actual course. You want to have a piece of paper and have tick marks every time you're distracted. If you're distracted, make your tick mark, take a deep breath. Okay, let me put my attention back on what I'm concentrating on. So like right now, whenever you have any kind of thought like that throughout the day, anytime, you just realize, okay, hold on, I'm distracted. This isn't what I want. What I'm thinking about right now is not what I want to experience. Even though it may be what I feel I'm currently experiencing, and it is what I'm currently experiencing, it's not what I want to experience. So let me remove my attention from it, acknowledge I was distracted, take a deep breath, put my attention on what I do want. And how we do that is exactly what we were going through with James. What does Vi, who is focused and concentrated and is able to do it free of any outer stimulus, or medication, and that might feel like it's a far way off. That's fine. But just what does that look like? What does that feel like? Being that way and then reflecting on how it used to be, like, oh my God, man, I used to struggle with this, and now it's a breeze. That's what you do want, right?
Right.
Yeah. So anytime you start to entertain those thoughts, then just realize that's the distraction. That's what because anytime you're entertaining those thoughts, that's what you're watering and giving sunlight to. So you're feeding the weeds. We want to choke the weeds out by giving attention and water to and watering those seeds of what we do want. So yeah, not to cut you off, but yes, I did want to cut you off. But go ahead and continue if you like.
I appreciate it more than you know. I've been taking a lot of notes tonight. I'm very impressed, and I just admire everybody. But hold on a second. When I did my list for the 10 things that I want most in my life,
Yeah.
right now, so it's not very simple. Like for me, when I started to write the list, I was struggling because I felt like it needed to be perfect. And then it was like it needed to be concise. And I said, I'm gonna just write it.
Yeah.
And so it's a little verbose. So for example, I'll give you one. I would like to have an infinite supply of ethical wealth in finances and resource ownership.
Okay.
I mean,
What does that look like? What does that mean? Like what would have to happen in your life for you to be able to cross that off?
I have no idea.
Okay. What is the first step to that?
Making sure that I have somebody in place to handle those finances for me.
Okay. Do you have those finances now?
I do not.
Okay, so then a step before having someone in place would be actually having the finances, right?
Right.
Okay. What's the first step in that, in getting those finances?
Getting my income sources running the way they need to, but I can't do that until I get my mind right.
Okay. So then what part of your mind needs to be right first?
The part that won't work all the time.
Which is what?
I don't know.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, so do you currently have a source of income right now?
I do not.
Okay. Um,
I'm in a position that I never thought I'd be in. I didn't go to college to become dependent on somebody and become in a situation that I can't get out of. So
okay.
I can't focus. I can't get my depression under control enough to generate income for myself right now.
Okay. Okay. Is depression free on your list?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
not that it doesn't say that specifically.
Mhm.
Specifically, it says healthy, functioning mind and body.
Okay. I would change healthy functioning mind and body and just put depression free.
Okay.
How is the depression constant for you?
Yes. My
Okay.
whole life. It's just
Okay.
and just it gets waves. I get waves of where it's crushing.
Intensity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it's at its lightest, is it like ever not there? Like,
No,
do you ever have a whole day where it's not there?
no, it's always there.
Okay. So instead of depression free, I would put 1 day free of depression. And the way you're describing it, I would put that at the very top of your list, number one. 1 day.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what I mean. Like, if you have something really big like that, like especially like just full mind, body, and emotional health, what's the first thing? Okay, the most pertinent and primary is this depression. We gotta kick this shit out of here. Okay, well, how severe is it? I don't even have 1 day. Boom, there we go. Okay, 1 day. That's something that we should be able to cross off relatively soon. And that may sound completely unbelievable to you based on your experience, and that's okay, because that's the kind of thought you need to have. Become aware of how limiting that is, because is 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 depression universal? Does everyone experience depression?
That's a good question. Because the depression that I have isn't like it's not based on an event,
Mhm.
right? It's not
Yeah,
situational. I
so like
mean,
trauma induced.
no,
Yeah,
it's just like if it is trauma induced, I don't know. It's just
yeah.
always there. I don't know why it's there.
Mhm. I mean, I used to experience depression. Also, like it wouldn't be like what you're describing, but it would be like severe bouts for like weeks at a time, and it would be intense, but it wouldn't be as ongoing. But I have it for at least 10 years, at least. And so, I mean, yeah, I can vouch for you that no, not everyone does, because I don't. So it's not universal. So since it isn't something that's universal, it is something that you can change and transform. No matter how severe it is for you, no matter how constant it has been in your life, you can still change and transform it. So I just want to share that with you so that you can actually hear that, whether you believe it or not, you can actually hear it to then at least get the wheels turning to move into believing it. Um, and we can talking some other things and other things that we can do to help. I can share with you to help you out with that. A lot of it would be geared towards breath work. It truly it truly will do a lot for you.
The breath work, yeah, you shared, was it in class that you shared, or was it in one of your videos where you breathe to get through the pain, where you breathe in, was that you? You breathe in and you're visualizing the breath, the air going and filling the space and fixing the part that's hurting, and then you breathe out.
Okay, yeah, no, that wasn't me. Not to say that that's not helpful, but I've never shared anything.
I'm sorry,
No, you're fine. You're fine.
a lot of information.
Yeah, I get it, and that's good. I mean, like working with your breath in ways that are going to transform your physical cells of your body, as well as stimulate and instigate and transform different emotional energy, and bring about a more unified connection with your soul and your body. And there's lots of different breathing techniques that produce lots of different effects. And we're going to be doing one, I think this Saturday is what most people voted on. That's going to have a very powerful effect. So are you free this Saturday? Did you vote for the Saturday? Was that one of the days?
Absolutely. I am really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that is one of the most powerful breathing techniques. But I'll share some others with you. We can get together another time and kind of go a little deeper into things. But yeah, so that's what I would put on there for the depression, like 1 day depression free. Do you believe that that's possible? Have 1 day depression free?
I want to believe.
Okay. Another thing that you can do is just start to say those kind of things, and it might be unbelievable, because a belief is just a thought you continue to think. So the more that you say those to yourself, then the more you'll start to believe it, which will then create a manifestation of it. I am, how can we say it do you ever experience joy?
I do.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I do. So, and when I do, I actually enjoy saying the word joy. I
Yeah.
try to say the word joy like repeatedly, and that makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
I experience joy when I'm with my dog and
Yeah.
when I'm able to do for my family.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't really have things that I do that I experience joy, unless I'm in the water.
Okay. When you say it repeatedly, like how many times would that be at most?
I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
That's
So I would say my life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. And I would seriously strive to say that 1,000 times a day. That might sound like a lot. Does that sound like a lot to you?
It sounds like a lot, but I'm sure it's probably a lot less than all the negative thoughts that go through my brain in a
Yeah,
day.
well, let's see. My life is full of joy. 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 I'm going like 10 seconds, said it 10 times. So 1,000 would only be 1,000 seconds, which would be less than 20 minutes.
And heck yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah. So that's not really that long, is what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'm not saying, time yourself for 20 minutes and say it until the timer dings, but just all day long, as many times as you can. Because if you say it more than 1,000 times, great. You say it 5,000 times, that means that you will see effects more than 5 times faster than just saying it 1,000 times. And I mean, I'm telling you, this will do a lot, because then what we're doing is we're giving a ton of energy to that thought of my life is full of joy. You're giving a ton of water and sunlight to it, to where then what it does is, okay, we haven't really done any work to remove the weeds, but this is choking them out. I mean, they have no life force energy because you're giving all of your energy to the plant that you're wanting to sprout and grow and develop and flourish. My life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. And at first, it might not. You might be like, "Oh man, my life's not full of joy." What the fuck? You know, I'm sitting in it right now. There's nothing joyous going on right now. That's okay, because a belief is just a thought you continue to think. And as you do say those things, then eventually a joyous moment comes by. You're like, yeah, my life does have some joy in it. Boom. That right there is going to intensify how much energy is developed every time you say my life is full of joy from that moment forward. Until then, you create another joyous experience with even more joy than before. And it comes more and more frequently. It's where you're like, man, I am actually, this has been like one of the best weeks. I mean, I've still been struggling a lot. This is one of the best weeks I've had in a long time. You know, like a month's worth of good things have happened in 1 week. Man, great. And then that's going to fuel and intensify your believability of your life being full of joy. So where when you say it now, it has even more power to it. You know, were you here earlier when I was talking about the thoughts are things and they have density and substance?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. Thoughts definitely are things and they have density and substance. So every time you say it, you are adding more substance and density to that thought. And so it starts out up here in the mental level. And as it gains more density and substance, what's it going to do? It's going to fall. I mean, because it's getting heavier and heavier. So it's falling until it becomes so dense and full of substance that it has form, physical form. That's how dense and full of substance it is. And then it physicalizes to where eventually one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, holy shit, my life really is full of joy, not just sprinkled with joy. It is full of joy. And that may be, you know, a year from now, 5 years from now, or it might be 5 months from now. If you said this 5,000 times a day, every single day from now in 5 months, yeah, I would say you would, if not manifest that, it'd be really, really fucking close.
Do you think, do you suggest that I, like we do the tick marks for distractions, that I do tick marks for joy?
No, I wouldn't even mess with any tick marks. I wouldn't worry about counting up how many times. Yeah, don't even count it at all. Just strive to get to a point where you're saying it all day long.
Okay.
Like any spare moment of the day, you're saying my life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. Unless something is needing your attention right away, my life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. You know, if you find yourself just kind of scrolling on, TikTok or any other social media, just be like, oh wait, hold on. You know what? Life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. My life is full of joy. Yeah, there's going to be some things you're going to have to sacrifice in order to do this. But, universal law of sacrifice, what's the bigger sacrifice you're willing to make?
So just so you know, when I'm on TikTok and I come across your video, I'm gonna put in the comments, my life is full of joy 1,000 times.
Yes. Do it. Do it. I'll put it right underneath it. Your life is full of joy. Mine too.
Yes.
Yes. How do you feel right now?
I feel lighter.
Good. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I think that might be because your believability in it ceasing at some point increased slightly or tremendously. I don't know. But that belief will be a lot. That's why the universal law of manifestation is also called the universal law of believing and knowing. Okay, so another thing I wanted to ask, and then we'll get back to the list. Another thing I want to say about the list. As far as the concentration exercise, when do you practice that in relationship to when you take your medicine? Do you take your medicine, your ADHD medicine every day?
Yep. First thing in the morning and then in the afternoon.
Okay. Now, I will never suggest to you to, stop taking any type of medicine or how to take your medicine or when to take your medicine. Not at all. If you want, I would suggest, just speaking with your doctor that prescribes it to you on, you know, whenever you're comfortable of doing this and feel you're in a position to have a conversation like this of how you can kind of wean yourself off of it if that's something that you desire to do. But that's, you know, for you to decide, not me. I'm not suggesting anything like that. But if that is something you want to do, you know, I would wholeheartedly support it. But what I'm just wondering, when in correlation to when you are taking your medicine, when are you doing the exercise? Or does it
I
change?
um well, when I haven't had a set time where I've done the exercise.
Mhm.
Um, full disclosure, I've probably spent the last 4 nights sleeping out on the lanai,
Mhm.
and have been in a pretty depressive state. So I'm really not paying attention to anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not keeping track of the time and everything.
Okay. Is there like a set time when you normally take your medicine?
Yeah. So like about 7 a.m., between 7 and 8 in the morning.
Okay.
And then I'll take it the second one like around 2, although I forgot today, which happens a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay. So the whole reason I was asking this is one, to see if there was any correlation, and two, when you're doing that, because what I would highly suggest is that you make sure that you do your concentration exercise before you take the medicine. Um, that way it'll have the biggest effect for you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So if you take it at 7, then just, you know, do it at 6:30 or 6:50. You know, do it at 6:50 and ding, you know, you blow out your candle, and then, you know, take the medicine. You know, do it whenever, but do it sometime that same day, just before you end up taking the medicine. That's what I would suggest.
All right. So I'll let you know on next week how that goes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
during the week on Discord. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Have you ever practiced the long breath?
So I got so confused with it. I was listening to that playlist
Hmm.
and I couldn't remember the breathing, and I was like, is this where the long breath comes in? And I
Okay.
was like, that's a little too fast for the long breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
fell asleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that breathing is like, you know, you're breathing fast.
right.
The long breath, it's designed to alleviate any negative emotion. Um, no, you know, for you with the depression thinks it's very intense. So it'll take a lot of the breathing versus, like, you know, if somebody just gets angry for a minute and they do the long breath and it dissipates pretty quick for them. You know, so I would just suggest, also, if you have the space and time, to 10 minutes a day, doing the long breath at some point in the day, especially at the points when the depression is the most severe. Just setting yourself a timer, and until that timer goes off for 10 minutes, I mean, do it 20 minutes if you want, you know, whatever it takes, where you're just doing long, slow, deep breaths, just longer and longer, slower and slower, deeper and deeper. And make the breath as long as you can, make it as deep as you can, make it as slow as you can. And I mean, scientifically, the negative emotion, it has to dissipate. But like I said, you know, the more intense it is, then the more breathing you have to do. But yeah, I would also incorporate that one as well into
Okay.
your day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Beautiful. And then as far as back to the list, um, so you put on there 1 day of free, 1 day free of depression.
Right. That's at the top of the list.
That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for you to cross that off.
Right.
And then when you cross it off, you can put, you know, 2 days back to back, or yeah, 2 days back to back, 2 days back to back. Can you imagine that?
So I made mine too big then.
Yeah, it's okay. And that's why I'm kind of going over it again with you. So as far as like the money one that you had, I mean, that's like really out there. So yeah, I mean, it'd be you'd have that same list for a long time, and eventually you would never cross anything off, and you just throw it to the side because it's not working for you. Whereas one day depression free is a lot easier than the other, but the main thing is it's a lot more believable, right? You could like, what's the level of belief in one day being depression free? Like, I mean, even wherever you're at, I'm sure may be some disbelief there, but it's probably nowhere near as strong as the disbelief of Vi, you be completely depression free. It's no problem. It's easy.
Right.
I mean, it may not easy, but that's simple, And so that is like that belief is a lot harder to get into versus the other. So since that's more believable, it'll be easier for your mind to manifest it.
Okay.
And so the same thing with like you also said that money. Well, what's the first step? Okay, getting a source of income. So I would put that on there, a source of income. Oh, one source of income now, or one source of regular income. Now, like you may be thinking of something like 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 3,000 a month, but it could be something just as simple as $100 a month.
Right.
That's a source of income. It's regular. So even, I mean, that's that's what I mean. That's a lot more believable than 10,000 a month, just coming out of nowhere. I'm sure you can probably think of things. Well, yeah, there are some things I could easily do that produces $100 a month. That's only $3 a day. $33.50 a day. And so there's ways that you can make that happen. Now, I mean, $100 isn't the ultimate goal, but I'm just saying that as far as like, okay, let me just ask you, do you believe you could right now, starting today, start producing $100 a month?
I believe I have tools available to me. I just don't believe I'm able to do it.
Okay.
Like I got my notary commission. I have graphic design skills. I've got a sublimation printer and all the fancy stuff, that I just can't get it all. It's like I need a
Um,
list for the
yeah,
day to carry me through every single task to get it done. I need
gotcha.
somebody to think that through, because the moment I have to start thinking and my depression kicks in, it just goes
Kind
south.
of crippling. Okay, I get it. Okay. Um, Now what about $5,000 a month? You believe you can start doing that today?
No,
Okay.
if I'm
That was
honest.
a much more definitive answer than the $100. So the $100 is more believable, right?
Right?
So
Especially when you say $3.33 a day.
yeah, it's like, oh shoot, I could just walk through the park and find that, you know. But yeah, so it's like start with something that's more believable for you because you'll have a lot more success with it, and then build upon that. Once you cross that one off, then you can go to the next one. Once you produce $100 in 1 month, okay, next month, what's next? $200. It's like the journey to getting to $10,000 a month. Like if I sat here and tried to figure out a way to get to my car, or even just to get to the door in one step, like how can I get all the way over there in one step? Ugh, I just really don't know how. The more I think about it, the more I'm stuck in this fucking chair and not getting up.
Right.
But if I just take it one step at a time, you know, and just first stand up and just take one step at a time. Yeah, it's going to take, 20, 30, 40 steps to get across the room to the door. But if I just focus on the one step at a time, I'll eventually get there. If I try to, figure out how I'm gonna get there, just keep looking at the door, I'm never gonna fucking move. And so that's where that's also an aspect of where having something that's more believable coming in, because I can definitely believe that I can, stand up. That's far more believable than being able to reach the door over there in one step. Far more believable. And so, okay, I'll put in the effort to actually do it. I can stand up, boom, did it, done. What's the next thing? Oh, take one step forward. Okay, I can do that way easier than stepping all the way over to the door way over there. It's impossible. And so, but I can take one step. That's very possible. It's very doable. And so, so do that. If that's a goal of yours, then produce $100 for yourself by the end of this month. And if that feels like it may be too small or something, then make it 200. I don't know. Make it 1,000. I don't know. And it might not, 1,000, but I would just maybe put it $100 in 1 month, or $1,000 in 1 month, or maybe just 500. I don't know. You pick the number.
Okay.
But in 1 month, that way it's not like I have to do it this month. Allow it to kind of gestate as you're reading it every day. What's another really big one that you have on there that you don't mind sharing?
Oh, thanks again, everybody, for putting up with my dog snoring in the background.
I don't know what that was.
Let's see. Here's another big one. To have a beautiful home and property to live and work from that I own, free and clear from external influences. That's like, these are all really loaded. That has a lot to do with
Yeah.
finance and feeling protected.
Mhm.
An easier one is to know and be consistently operating in my divine purpose.
Okay. Do you know what your purpose is?
Nope, that's why it said to know.
Okay.
To know,
Well, yeah, but you added like living in it and everything. So like that's like the
right,
first step is the awareness.
right.
Do you know how to find out what your purpose is?
Not anymore. I thought my purpose in this world was to raise my girls to be awesome contributors to society. And then I met my husband, and I thought my purpose was to blend our family and to be a mom for his kids. And once that was rejected, like, I had just lost my purpose. I feel like I'm just waving in the wind. I don't know
Mhm.
what it is.
Yeah. So two things that I heard there, you were placing your purpose in other people.
For what I'm supposed to do for them.
Yeah, but so your purpose was dependent upon other people. And so your purpose can affect other people, but it's ideally what you would want is your purpose to be in yourself. You see this over here on the right, the physical body, soul, and spirit.
Mhm.
Your own soul is your soulmate. The love and attention that you seek from other people outside of yourself, you'll really only truly get to its maximum fulfillment from within yourself, your soul. It's the other half. See this big line right here? That's to delineate that the superconscious mind, the spirit, is whole, then everything below it is whole. So this line right here is to show that these are just two halves of a whole. Your physical body and conscious mind is just a half. And yeah, it feels lonely because it's not connected with the soul. You have to go inward and connect more with your subconscious mind, connect more with your soul. That's where the breath ties the soul to the body. That's why the breath is going to be so key for you, especially eliminating that depression, because the more you find out what your purpose is, boom, that depression is going to dissipate immediately. So um, your soul is going to help you to understand your purpose. The greater your relationship is with yourself and your own soul, your inner self, the stronger that relationship is, and the healthier that relationship is, the stronger and better and more healthy all of your relationships in your life will be. This should, no matter who you are, no matter if you're married, not married, have kids, don't have kids, this relationship should always be your primary relationship.
What
And when you,
happened to it? Where did it go? Why did I not prioritize it? And when did I lose it?
hey, who cares? We're here right now. You know, let's not dwell on how we got here. Just, I mean, yeah, we can kind of reflect a little bit to make sure we don't get back to here. But, you know, if we continue looking back at the trail we just carved and pathed, where's our attention on what we don't want? We put our attention on what we do want, right?
All right.
So as far as how we got here, who cares? Let it go. You know, we're here. It's not going to change. If we know or don't know, it's not going to change the fact that this is where we're at, and we have somewhere we need to go, and we're going to make sure we get there, right? So a lot of what you're doing right now, and willing to go deeper in, you know, like you said, you took a lot of notes, and anything that I've suggested, you're like, yeah, you know, so you have the willingness. So it's gonna change. It's gonna grow. All of those things are gonna cultivate a stronger relationship with your soul, with yourself, with your subconscious, superconscious. I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Really excited for you. I feel like this was a major moment for you.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. So yeah, I would replace that purpose one with just discover my purpose. And I will leave you with this. There's three parts to your purpose. Just like there's three parts here, you know. One part that's separate from the rest, not that it's higher or more elevated, because it's not. It's actually the opposite. Part of our purpose for continually coming to these physical bodies is desires. We have desires, we want to fulfill them. You know, there's tons of experiences that you can have in this physical reality that you can't have without being in a physical body. And so fulfilling those different desires is part of our purpose for living these physical lives. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. So anytime you have a desire, yeah, don't feel bad on fulfilling it, unless it's something that's going to impose upon the will of someone else. And then the other is two halves to a whole. Like the subconscious mind here is receptive, the conscious mind is aggressive, you know, masculine and feminine, universal law of duality, everything is dual. So your purpose is dual as well. Your soul's purpose is dual as well. Feminine and aggressive, feminine and masculine, receptive and aggressive. So there are things that you have to receive, and there are things that you have to give. And discovering your purpose is going to be discovering what you have to receive and discovering what you have to give. And this is, you know, purpose means personal benefit. Like knowing knowing your purpose for doing these exercises, it's my responsibility to convey to you how you're going to benefit from them, as well as share, this is the exercise. You know, if I just said, all right, everybody, we're going to go stare at a candle for 10 minutes. Nobody's doing that. Anybody who does do it, it's going to get halfway through like, fuck this. This guy, I don't know what he's talking about. But if I tell you the purpose, how you're going to personally benefit from doing this, yeah, you're going to be more inclined to do it. So purpose is personal benefit. And the highest form of personal benefit are the understandings that you build and cultivate within this life through the life lessons that you learn based upon the experiences that you have. So we have experiences, and if we choose to learn from those experiences, we learn lessons within them. And then through those lessons, we can have a deeper understanding of what it means to be responsible, a deeper understanding of what it means to be whole and healthy, a deeper understanding of what it means what friendship is, a deeper understanding of what communication is, leadership, abundance, prosperity, concentration, all these things. And so then the conscious mind in this physical reality, we create these different experiences and then feed them into the soul. Well, that's literally the only thing that we can take with us this lifetime. People say all the time, oh, I'll spend the money, I can't take it with me anyway. The only thing that you do take with you are the understandings that you build throughout your life. And so it is the highest benefit that you receive from living a life. So it's your highest purpose. That is what you receive. And it's also known as karma. Karma isn't, things you've done to other people are going to come back around to you. Anything that you have done to someone, if you take the time to understand, like fully understand what you've caused them to create, then it won't come back to you because you've already fulfilled the karma. You've already relieved it. You've built the understanding. You built the understanding, fed into your soul, so you're good. Now, the giving, the aggressive, is what you have to share and teach other people. Now, that's not meaning like we all have to be teachers, but as you've gone through all these hundreds of lifetimes and built up a storehouse of different understandings based upon the thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of experiences that you have had, your soul contains a lot of wisdom. And the more centered that you are with yourself, within yourself, then the more that those understandings naturally exude from you. So you just being your connected, natural self, you are a person who other people can learn from. Like for me, part of what I give just from people being around me is joy. I just bring joy to life, mainly because that's what I focus upon. Is just, if you're not enjoying life, you're living it wrong. Even when I've been in my worst situations and circumstances, like I've tried to find ways to enjoy it. And sometimes that's put me in worse positions because I've spent money I didn't have, but I was making sure I enjoyed what I was doing and enjoyed my process of getting out of it, and did it in a way that I enjoyed it. Not, I'm going to eat beans and rice until I get enough money back up. No, fuck that. I'll just figure out a way, not saying, I'd really make myself truly worse, but anyways, just joy. And so here, this is a different kind of space, but if we were actually hanging out and you were sharing this stuff with me, there would just be ways that I'm just naturally myself, and it would just bring joy to you. And that's kind of what I just do for all my friends. A lot of the reason why a lot of my friends do come to me is because that emotion gets relieved, because they just end up enjoying themselves. And it's just naturally what I do and what other people experience just from being around me. And that's what I have to give. It's not like anything I consciously do. It just happens. And so that's because I just understand certain things about joy. And so for yourself, it's identifying what are the main lessons that you have to learn in life right now. What are the main things you're here to understand with what you're going on with your life right now? What is the main thing that you can understand in life right now? And then what do you naturally understand? And what ways do you think, what ways does your mind operate that is different from other people? Other people don't think like this, another thing for me, I'm just a very considerate person. And I may make a choice that, goes against the other people's best interests in my life, but is in my best interest or something. But I've definitely considered how that choice affects them 100% through and through. Every action I've ever taken. That's just a Taurus, Sun, Aquarian, Moon kind of thing, I guess. But I think through everything, and I consider how it affects everyone. And so it took a long time for me to realize not everybody thinks like that. That's a way in which I think and operate that's totally different from other people. And so that's kind of what I mean, you know. And so you have to find a kind of identify those things for yourself. And I mean, I have also I forgot all about this. I have two friends in Dallas who like you'll probably never hear me ever suggest any type of like reading or anything from anyone ever. Mainly because I try to teach you to find these things out for yourself. Go in your dreams, ask your dreams. Your dreams are going to tell you. Any type of person who's giving you like a reading, all they're doing is reading your aura anyways, and reading what's within your subconscious mind anyways. So learn how to meditate deeper, find out the answer for yourself. Don't be dependent on anyone outside of yourself. However, with that being said, I would highly suggest some friends of mine. I used to do these same kind of readings, but it takes two people to do. And my partner, she left and moved to California. And so together no more. But they still do them. And they're done in a way where like her conscious mind is put to sleep and just her subconscious mind remains there. It's like an oracle, a modern day oracle. And then my other friend, who's now her husband, he will direct her subconscious mind on what to do. And they're going in the Akashic records right here. And he has her go into the Akashic records and read to your Akashic records. And they have a reading for your karma. And so it'll pull up your past life that is most correlated and connected to your what you're going through presently. And then why it's connected and how you can relieve that karma. Essentially, that's like a karma reading, which is going to be half of your purpose. Then they have a dharma reading, which is going to convey out of the whole constellation of understandings that you have as a soul, what does that look like and what does it produce for other people? And so, yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how much they are. They also, I mean, they do other ones like a health reading where it'll relay your spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, and then energetic health, the 7 chakras, and then suggestions for improving any of those. So I get one of those like once a year. I never go to the doctor. I just get one of those once a year. Very powerful. Yeah, it is like hypnosis, but it's not anything you have to do. You don't have to be hypnotized for any of this. It's a state that she goes into for us, so that we don't have to, do any of that stuff. And it's the conscious mind is removed, so there's no bias there. Like if I because I intuitively get stuff a lot, but sometimes, I hold back on what I share because I'm like, oh, I don't know if they want to hear this. And so that's not there with this because the conscious mind isn't involved. It's just purely subconscious mind coming straight from the Akashic records. It is powerful, very powerful. Readings, I guess you could call them. I wouldn't really call them readings, but yeah, that's something you can do as well and directly find out clear as day what your purpose is. I think they're like $125, something like that. But yeah, I can give their information if you're interested. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You said there were the Akashic records. Was there another reading or that was it?
Oh, yeah. So one, to find out your soul's purpose, your dharma, your karma, like what help you with the life lessons you're going through right now. The health reading would be very beneficial for you, I would think, most definitely. So it'll relay like the condition of your spirit, your mental level, emotional level, and physical body, and then convey any suggestions for healing. And they do it over Zoom, so you can like hear it as it's happening. They'll send you a recording also, so you can like listen to it every day. And they so you can like watching it live, you can ask questions back. And actually, if you guys are interested, I can like my most recent one, I can put that on the Discord somehow, and so for everybody to listen to. so you get an idea of like what it's like, what it's saying.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it the other day because I haven't. My last health reading that I got from them. I mean, like I said, I used to do these, so getting from them. But anyways, originally it's been like 9 years. Whenever I get one every single year, I never go to the doctor. Just figure it out with what they share, because it's getting to the root of things. It's powerful. It's very powerful. But yeah, I'll put that together, and you guys can hear that in the experience. All right. Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions? Now that we're on hour 3.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask again, what was that book you mentioned? Was it Astrophysics by Bryce or Bruce?
Astrodynamics by Robert Bruce. Are you in the Discord chat?
I'm not sure. No, I don't even know how to get there.
Oh, okay. Are you open to like downloading Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know if you were opposed to it. I would just try to find a way to email it then. Does anybody else who, like maybe James or everyone know you've been here for a while, somebody else who's recently come, when you join that Discord chat, are you able to see all the previous messages? Anybody know?
I want to say it. For some of them, you can. I'm actually going to look real quick. Let me get back to you.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, you can tell us, Santana, when you join, you can tell us if you can see the old messages. And if not, I'll just reshare it. But it's all posted in there. I put that in there, some other things that we talked about in there. And then there's a lot of other resources in there. Like to get to the recordings, you'd have to do it through the Discord chat. So do you still have the initial email that I sent to you when you first signed up?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you download Discord on your phone and create a little Discord person or whatever it's called, then in that email I think it's at the very bottom, there'll be a link to the Discord chat. So once you download Discord and set it up on your phone, then go back in and hit that link and it should bring you into the page. If you have any problem, just let me know. And here, one thing I've also been meaning to do for y'all. So that's my phone number if you ever need anything and can't get a hold of me. So if you can't get in there, you have problems, just text me or something, let me know.
Yeah, it looks like you should be able to see all the older messages, because I scrolled all the way back to the beginning of August when I first joined, and I was able to see past that. So
okay, cool. Nice. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, because there's a lot of different things in there. Might be beneficial for you, especially even like just reading other people's dreams as you get more into like the dream interpretation course and start to identify and understand more symbols and things. You can read other people's dreams that are getting interpreted, and that gives you more practice and an understanding of the universal language of the mind. All right, anyone else have anything? All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna get me a shower and go to bed. Got an early day. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Appreciate it. All right, you all have a peaceful night. Peace.
You as well. Till next time.
Yes,
All right, you
absolutely.
guys.
All right, take care. See you in the chat. I look for some dreams in the morning.
Mm-hmm.